The People's Choice from Mason's Edition. Over the hill, Grand Sound, Baintown, from everywhere they're coming. They're the People's Choice, the Saxon Superstars.
Hello? Who's in the morning?
Yeah, yo, Jordan, we're finishing.
We know you're watching. We can feel you. We know that you are afraid. Afraid of us. You're afraid of change. You're afraid of what happens when the Bahamian people find out that you've lied to them. I'm going to hang up this phone, and we are going to tell them everything. We are going to tell them who they are and what you took from them. Change is not coming. Change is here.
Fellow Bahamians, you have been lied to. You have been told that you are poor, that you have no wealth and no resources. You have been told that your natural resources are worth nothing. You've been told that even if you had natural resources that only the wealthy could afford to mine and process it. While you were struggling to survive, they were secretly shipping billions of tons of your natural resources out of the country. It's time to learn the truth. It's time to end this myth. There is a dangerous cohort called the oligarchs. They have been using your beloved politicians as puppets to do their bidding. To distract you with rallies, handouts and jobs while they ran off with your riches. So the question is, how do you get your resources out of the hands of the oligarchs and into the hands of the Bahamian people? It's easier than you think. Today, I have come as the bearer of good news. And that is that change is not coming, change is here.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Thank you for joining us this evening. My name is Charlotte Green, Chairman of the Coalition of Independence. We are broadcasting live from Facebook, YouTube, as well as, I think that is TikTok. Okay, we're also broadcasting in Europe and in Asia. Thank you so much for joining us here today. We have so much to talk about. As always, we need our people to be informed and educated on what is going on in our country. I would like to take a minute to wish everyone a beautiful happy birthday. All of those who celebrated their birthdays this week and last week, I just want to wish you a happy birthday. Welcome to Virgo season. Happy birthday to everyone who has celebrated their birthday last week and the week before, and who is about to celebrate their birthday this coming week. Ladies and gentlemen, there is so much going on in our country. There is so much things going on, and there is so little that one person can do. This is why it is so very important for us to stand up together as one, to bring changes to our country. We have persons in Abaco, Freeport, all over this country hurting. Okay, we have so much corruption going on. And I mean, we all know that corruption is going on all around the world. But just because it's happening, it doesn't mean that we must sit back, remain quiet, and do nothing. Evil thrives when good men and women fail to do something about it. The quieter we are, the louder evil becomes. And it's a threat to us all. Corruption is a threat to us all. Corruption causes crime. Corruption is the cause of poverty. Corruption is the cause of so many bad things that is happening in our country, not only in our country, but also in the world. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we get into it, I would like to bring on Mr. Lincoln Bain. He has a lot to inform you on. But before we get into that, I just would like you to know, especially the ladies, we are having our upcoming Ladies Women's Youth Alliance, Coalition Women's Youth Alliance, Coalition Women Alliance election is coming up September the 11th. That is going to be taking place at Anatole Rogers High School at 7 p.m. Okay, so we're going to put that information on the Coalition of Independence website as well as the Coalition of Independence page. We're also going to pass the information into our women's group. Okay, so women, get ready. Ladies, get ready. It is time we shake this nation. It's time to become a part of a machinery that's all about change. Mr. Lincoln Bain, welcome.
Good afternoon, Bahamas. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on this your Sunday evening. Thank you, Miss Green, for introducing me. It's always a pleasure to have you. And I wanted to add to Miss Green by thanking all of those persons who are celebrating their birthdays with us this week. Chanel Pinda is one of them. She's one of our supporters. Chanel Pinda, we want to say a happy birthday to you. But also, Bahamas, Miss Charlotte Green is also celebrating her birthday. And so we just want to wish a wonderful happy birthday to this hard-working Bahamian woman who is out there spending all of her days, every single minute of the day, fighting for the Bahamian people. We just want to wish you a special happy birthday, Miss Charlotte Green. And the Bahamas would not have been the place it is without you. The Bahamas is a better place because of you, and we thank you for everything that you are doing.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. God bless you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Miss Green. Thank you. God bless you. We love you. We're
Thank
gonna
you.
you have a special day, and thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
All right. God bless you. We have so many wonderful, beautiful, hard-working women in this organization who are doing everything that they can to bring the change that this country needs, and we thank them for all of their efforts. All right, so we just want to thank you for that, and God bless you, ladies and gentlemen. We got a lot to talk about on today. Today, we're gonna have a special broadcast for you. We're going to let you able to call in and speak at any time during this broadcast. But we got a couple of things we got to talk about. And you're going to be able to join us on this broadcast at any time. Remember, we are broadcasting from Facebook, on the Lincoln Bain page, Coalition of Independence page, and the Bayman Evolution page. We're also broadcasting on YouTube on all three of those pages also. We're also on Twitter, and we are also broadcasting internationally in Europe and in Asia. In Europe on Tele2. We're also broadcasting on Daily Motion, and we're broadcasting in Asia on Do You and Hoi Yoi. Charlotte always tease me because I mangle that and I don't say it like an Asian. But hey, I think they get us. They understand us because they're actually watching. And so we just want to thank persons from around the world. We actually have Bahamians from all around the world in Hong Kong, in Singapore, etc. And while they can watch on any of those channels, it's just good to know that if for any reason the government decides to lock you down, you're still up and running, and the international community is watching. So, all right, we'll just stick with that one. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for joining us, and thank you for being here. It is always a pleasure to have you. And so, let me see who is broadcasting live with us today. Tell me who you are and where you're broadcasting from. Who are you and where are you broadcasting from? Let me see who is there. I see Patty Miller Etienne is there. Thank you so much for joining us. It's always good to have you. I see Risen Maki is there. Craig Major, let me know where you're broadcasting from. Let me know where you're broadcasting from. See everyone telling Miss Green happy birthday. Um, John Rule is broadcasting from Freeport. Thank you, John Rule, and welcome. Teresa Dean is broadcasting Mako City. That's I think that's Princess. Pinewood, that's Miss Green, is going so fast now. Freeport, Lisa Forbes, Freeport. Diane Pickering is watching. Elvis Carey is watching. Charlie Russell is going fast. That's Georgia. All the way for, oh man, I'm missing them. Golden Gates, Kelda Gibson. Shanika, you know what? Let me make sure I don't want to miss any. Let me go on here and make sure I get more of these as they're coming in. Okay. If I missed you before, I'm going to get you now. Good evening to all. That's from Darian. Oh, man, it's moving fast here, too. Okay, let me let the catch up. Abaco, that's Cordella. Oh, my God, this is rolling. Concolay is in Freeport. Um, Abaco is in the house. I'm sorry. This is so fast. Someone from Wolf Road, Beverly Adderley is watching. Sincere Delancey is in Freeport. Michael Lockhart is watching in Pinewood. Thank you, Michael Lockhart. Raquel Edwards. Who's this? Bradley Fox. Sandy Point Abaco. Thank you for joining us. Hollywood, Washington is in Florida. Debbie Kiash. Crystalline Miller is in Sunset Park. Lashona is in Abaco Strong. Shanika is in Wolf Road. Sunset Park, oh, I missed that again. Nassau Village, that's Kamel. Rashida is joining us from in Seagrape, in Grand Bahama in Seagrape. Something that says Abaco Strong, I missed that. Atlanta is joining us. Is moving too fast. Turks and Caicos is joining us. I missed your name, I'm sorry. I'll go back to it. Oh, Jason Ferguson and Turks and Caicos, thank you. Debbie, where's Debbie? Debbie, move too fast. Someone is in Texas, starts with P. Jackie is in Carmichael Road. Ash Gibson in the building. That's Louis Gibson is in the building. Roberts Windows, walk in. Roberts Windows. That's that professional fella. He does some good windows. He's a real good fella. Windows and screens. What else we got here? Oh man, y'all listen. There's a lot of people here because this is moving so fast. Dario Monroe's in Yellow Elder. Ina Knowles, I can see where you're from. Anastasia Brooks is in Turks Island. Anastasia Brooks from Turks Island. Thank you. Shanika Roll. Sanders Andres in the house. Andres. Thank you, Andres. We got to fight for y'all. Anastasia Brooks, Turks Island. I saw that. Freeport. Angie Clark in Freeport. Althea Ferguson, Kalani in the house. Yes, we got to get that criminal out of the House of Assembly. His name is Dr. Hubert Alexander Minnis. We have to get him out of the house, Kalani. Kalani, you got to stand up. Carmichael Road, oh, I missed it. Veronica Brooks is in Orlando, Florida. Thank you, Orlando, Florida. Who else we got here? Uh, Valdez Cash is also there. Um, Valley says, "Love you guys" on from COI. Uh, Movado is here. Thank you, Movado. Sandra Brooks, South Beach is in the house. That's Darlene from South Beach. Ann Green, that's Pinewood. That's Ann Green. All right. I hope I didn't miss any of you, but you understand as you can. This is moving fast. Melanie is in Eastwood. Melanie Hanna is in Eastwood. Marva McKinney is in Eleuthera. I just scrolling back to try to get some of them that I missed. At Bernard Road, that's Favor Tina is in Bernard Road. Oh, now I'm getting it to move slower. Darlene Wallace is in. Keva Smith is in Long Island. Yes, we got to do something for Long Island. Who else we got here? We got Maria. Maria is also watching. That's from Michael Road. Michelle Russell is watching. Thank you so much for watching. Let's go to the scene of the crime, Lincoln. We always go into the scene of the crime. We always get those investigations. Kathleen E. Rami is in Treasure Cove. All right, Treasure Cove. Deborah is in East Grand Bahama. East Grand Bahama. Since Deborah says she's from Grand Bahama, I just want to say this to you. Prepare. The Coalition of Independence is coming to East Grand Bahama. It was coming to Grand Bahama. I hope you're ready. We're coming to Freeport. We're going to be at the BUT Hall. We're coming to Grand Bahama, and that is on Sunday, the 18th of September. So we are a few weeks away. So tell all of your friends, tell all of your family, come down there, meet me. We're going to talk about some things concerning Grand Bahama. Please come out, show your support. There's a lot of issues in Grand Bahama that has to be dealt with. Let them hear your voice. Let them know that Grand Bahama is strong and Grand Bahama is tired. We are fed up. We're tired of being arrested. We're tired of being neglected. We're tired of all of these things that's going on. We're tired of persons, Grand Bahama suffering, dying from cancer. Why are you raping our natural resources, billions of dollars of worth in Grand Bahama, and we get nothing? No, Grand Bahama, it's time to stand up. Why is the electricity bill in Grand Bahama sky high when people can't afford to eat food? Come on, Grand Bahama. We got to stand up. Enough is enough. Join us. We're going to have a town hall meeting in Grand Bahama. All right? Okay, they're telling me, producers are telling me that there is feedback. So let me just make sure that we get rid of that feedback. So the feedback should be gone now. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. So Grand Bahama, look forward to it. You're going to see us. We're going to be there, and we're going to stand with you. Stand with us as we stand with you. Listen, nothing has happened for you over the last few decades. Nothing. Nothing under the PLP, nothing under the FNM. We need new vision for Grand Bahama. That is what we need. We have to stand up this time. It doesn't work no matter who you put in power. It doesn't work. So we got to fix this. All right. So thank all of you for tuning in. I didn't get to see all of your names. I see Betty Ann is in Seabreeze. We got Gardnils in the house as Lloyd Bowleg. We got Devin Wilmore from Abaco. We're going to talk a little bit about Abaco today. The Warriors in the house, as Zen McCartney is in Florida. Tamara Jones is in Exuma. Michael Jones is in Freeport. We got Estella Pratt who is watching. Marshaba Abaco, Kirk Evans. Thank you, Marshaba. And we want to thank the people of Abaco for all of their hospitalities. They treated us like kings and queens as we were there. And so we thank you for all of that. God bless all of you. So, Oris McKinney is watching from Freeport. All right, I got to get on. Thank all of you for your greetings. Nicole Roy is watching from Montreal. Wow. Thank you, Nicole, Montreal. Winter is coming. I guess make sure you're prepared for that weather. Seabreeze is Glenroy. Hutchinson is in Seabreeze. Shari D. Colebrook is in Freeport. Thank you all for watching. Someone says you need to get on Rumble, Lincoln. Okay, thank you. We're gonna try to get on Rumble this week. Thank you so much for that suggestion, and God bless all of you. All right. All right, so let's get to what we came here for. We got a lot to talk about today, and you're gonna be allowed to call in at any time. You just make sure get this prepared and ready for you. You're gonna be allowed to call in at any time that you like. Um, the number will be on the screen. The number will be on the screen. But let me just talk a little bit first, and then we'll open the line so that you can call in at any time that you're ready. Ladies and gentlemen, uh, we're in some serious times. We're in some serious times. There's so much that we need to touch on today, but we're going to go as far as we could. In addition to the birthday greetings, we also want to say, give our special condolences to another a strong supporter, and that is Miss Jillian Bartlett. Miss Jillian Bartlett has been fighting for Bahamians. She is the leader of Bahamas for Bahamians, and she's lost her mother. And so we just want to say our deepest and sincerest condolences to you. And there's nothing that you can say, to comfort someone in this time of need. But just remember that God is with you no matter what you're going through. He's here right now for you. Continue to be strong and honor your mother by continuing to fight for this, our Bahama land. So we just want to say our deepest and sincerest uh, uh, condolences and sympathies to you. All right. So thank you so much for continuing to fight for the Bahamian people. God is with you. Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's that special weekend. It's that weekend just before school starts, and of course, people are being hit left, right, and center by inflation. They are being clobbered by the prices of everything right now. People are literally I mean, many of them don't know what they're going to do. This weekend, there was a lot of traffic out there on the road, a lot of traffic out there on the road as people were trying to do their back to school thing. And I wanna say congratulations to Patrice Hannah Carey. That's she is from the COI in Freetown, and she went out there and she assisted some of the young people, giving them haircuts, doing their hair, etc. Good job on that. Thank you so much for that, and continue to do the good job that you are doing. And God bless you for that. I also was made aware of some interesting voice notes that show that the Progressive Liberal Party was basically mocking and insulting the Bahamian people with certain comments. It's one thing to help, the poor, but to degrade them is another thing. And I don't think the Progressive Liberal Party or anyone should be using giving to poor people for political advantage. I don't think that that should be the case. I think that that is wrong and it is demonic to use it to gloat that we are giving out crumbs. Look at us, we're giving out crumbs. And I heard of a voice note where someone was saying, "Oh, the COI needs to give out back to school supplies, and the COI needs to do this and that." Listen to me, and listen to me good. We, the Bahamian people, are paying members of parliament to do such things. Let me make this clear to you. COI helps out, excuse me, in many different ways in this country, in many different ways. But we are paying members of parliament to do just that. You want someone else to do the job that you're being paid to do? It sounds like the PLP way. In addition, not only are we paying you to do that, we are paying you the money to do it with. So every single member of parliament gets $100,000 a year just to do certain things in their community. Some of them do nothing with it and return it like Perry Christie used to do. Some of them buy the little Mother's Day card. Some of them buy the back to school items, like they get these little paper thin backpacks and some books and that kind of put some pencils in there. Some of them do that. I want everyone listening to this to remember that's your money. No one is giving you nothing. This is not a giveaway. This is not a back to school giveaway. They're distributing your money to you. You see, these old people who are sending out these voice notes, who are used to the old way in this Bahamas, they don't get it. The new Bahamians aren't falling for this rhetoric and this nonsense. If you have 1,000 children in your constituency that you want to give books to, and you spend just um just $10, $10, buy some cheap backpacks wholesale and buy some books and take them out the park and put a couple in the bag, etc. If you take $10, that's only $10,000. You got $100,000. That's only $10,000 out of the 100,000 that you have for the year. There's one back to school in the year. That's our money. See, gone are the days when we're gonna have persons, politicians bragging about paving the road. Remember when Grammy you say, "Oh, my MP paved the road. Oh, my MP, I love him." Right before election, they'll pave the road, and they feel like the MP did something for them. Listen, they paved the road with your money, and you paying them to do that. And in fact, the MP didn't do that. Ministry of Works has their own schedules, nothing to do with the MP. And what would happen is the MP would come after the road pave and say, "See, we paved the road," and try to get the credit for it. But the MP had nothing to do with that. Bahamian people aren't interested in your games anymore. You're not gonna pretend like you spending some money. There are times when they'll get money from someone like Adrian, or give them some money, and then they'll brag, and they'll make it seem like they gave them money. No, 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 no. You got that from someone who giving that to you because they want some favors. That's our money. We're not interested in the nonsense and the foolishness talks. That's our money. So if we can spend our money, give us some backpacks that make sense. Now, if you want to do something that really adds up. Let's give some real solutions. Let's give some real solutions in education. All right, because to be honest with you, that should be a part of the general government budget, not a constituency budget, to issue school supplies, and that was a part of our plan. It's not expensive to do so. In fact, we feel that our children, our young people, should have more than just a little top, little thin uh, backpack, etc., etc. No, 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 no. We're not interested in that. We're interested in real solutions that we are paying you for. How about giving our young people free tablets? All right, you can do that. It's not expensive to do. Give all of our young people who are in school free tablets to work with, and then give them free textbooks. And it'll be free because it's not printed, it's on the tablet, because that's cheap. Give them free tablets with free textbooks on the tablets. How about you give them free transportation to school to take a lot of that stress off of the Bahamian people, to get rid of all of this traffic that we're now having, like they do in the United States of America with hundreds of thousands of children, hundreds of millions, sorry. How about we have free transportation? Hmm? You wanna brag about doing something? Why don't you do something that really counts? The children in the United States of America, every single one gets free breakfast. The cafeteria gives out free breakfast every morning because a lot of children don't have a meal and they can't learn. So they give them free breakfast every single morning. Every morning. They don't say if you're on a welfare program because they don't want to belittle anyone. They don't want the other students to see, "Oh, you were hungry, you don't have nothing, so you going on the welfare program." No, they give it to any child that wants to come to the cafeteria and eat. And they don't have to, but it's there. They have free lunch for all of the young people. All of them. So why can't we do these things? And why can't we give them free education up to a tertiary level, like Barbados has done, like Ireland has done, like many of the countries around the world is now doing? No, 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 no. You want to brag about backpacks? Listen, that's the old Bahamas, eh? That stuff right there impress us. On top of all of that, they're talking about, COI didn't give out backpacks. So because we paying you to do that, and we gave you the money, we gave you the money to do it. Answer this. Which one of the PLP MPs who didn't get voted in had a back to school giveaway? Which one? Which one? Which one? The COI didn't win office, and so we're not managing the people's money. It is the government job to do so. And they should not be bragging off of that or taking pictures of poor children coming to get this stuff. Huh? Which one of the PLP MPs who didn't get voted in? Wait, Kalani, did the PLP MP in Kalani, did he have a giveaway? No? St. Barnabas. St. Barnabas. I saw the PLP MP for St. Barnabas at a back to school giveaway. No? No? Oh, that's interesting. Because it's not their job. You see how PLP trolls don't think? All right. But what really offended me of all the things that I saw, I saw someone that you could almost refer to as Lanisha Rule Jr. because she actually went ahead to degrade and dishonor these children by putting her name on the bag so that now when the children go to school, they don't have the Kipling bag. But worse, they got a bag with the MP name on it. Let people know that you poor, you begging, you had to come get a bag from the MP. That is disgraceful of the Progressive Liberal Party. That is disgraceful. This is her wearing a bag. That's Ginger Moxie in Grand Bahama. Wearing her back, looking like Dora the Explorer and embarrassing the children of this Bahamas. Bahamas, this is just as bad or worse than what Lanisha Rule did. Lanisha Rule was giving out some medals, and she put her own image on the medals. That was bad. But now these are people who are disadvantaged, who are hurting and hungry. And this woman would put her name on them, brand them, put her name to embarrass them, to let everyone know you broke, you couldn't buy a bag, so you got a bag from Ginger. And they felt so proud taking pictures with the Ginger bags. They felt good doing this. You see, the PLP feels good when you are on your knees begging and groveling to them. That is when they are in their element. When they have some poor people to worship them, like Dora the Explorer had those people behind her taking pictures. They love it. When you come to them and you are grateful for crumbs, this is not the Bahamas that I am interested in living in. I am interested in living in the Bahamas where we empower our Bahamians by giving them their sovereign wealth fund and their natural resources so they don't have to come on no lines begging us. Because that's what they want from you. They want you on lines begging. That's what they want. Come beg and grovel. Sit down and stand up and wait 5 hours to get coupons. They want you on the beggar line. And they want you to shake your pom-poms after that while they're living good. That's the PLP way. That's how they want you. I heard one of those persons on a voice note send out voice notes saying the COI must give out bags and give out books and this and that. And they bragging that the PLP are spending the people money to do this stuff. And you got people who are themselves hurting, feeling good about this. One person who did a voice note, she was, after election, she was at COI office to get some help and assistance. And now he's calling the COI mean. All of this for politics, while our people suffer. While our people suffer. But while our people are on the lines begging, let me tell you what your politician is doing. Let me show you how your politician living. That's them. They balling while you crawling. They living while you dying. See this here? It's Fred Mitchell and the crew. All smiles, living up on your money. On your money. This them. It's Fred Mitchell them. Let me show you what they was balling with. This them, let's take a closer look at how they living while you getting little backpack. This dinner could have buy lots and lots of backpacks. Huh? Steak with mushrooms. Medium well. Huh? That's them. That's how they living off you. You know what else they was eating? See them there? Caviar. They eating caviar. It's for them. While your light turning off. And you jumping up and down screaming for them. This Fred them eating caviar. And these people so serious, they taking pictures and bragging on y'all. And some people are so stupid that they are glad to see their MP, who wouldn't have a job no other way, just living up on them while they got nothing and they wouldn't even phone. You know how much caviar costs? Caviar normally costs anywhere from $1,100 to $3,500 per ounce. Unless you get the cheap fake caviar ones. Caviar can cost up to $40,000 per ounce. This the high grade they got in double. Caviar, anywhere from $1,100. For example, a Food Republic article noted that one of the most expensive caviar is harvested from a 60 to 100 years old Iranian beluga sturgeon, and 1 ounce of it can be bought for almost $1,100. A tablespoon of this delicacy can even reach $40,000. This very expensive caviar is called Stratage Bianco and is made from the white sturgeon roe. This how this is living off of you. While they got y'all on the line for 5 hours. Because plenty money in this Bahamas, but they trying to make sure it don't get to you. And all they had the expensive, and they took these pictures. No one's spying on them. They bragging off of how they spending your money. Grand Vin, Chateau, Latour, 2,000. This is how they spending y'all money. They letting y'all know they living up, living up. And y'all could like it or lump it. See them here? You go to the seller, you pick what you want. This is how they living. Cigars, they pulling out the cigars. The champagne. Got dessert too. Because, if Fred traveling, traveling is very tiring. You need some sugar, to deal with that jet lag. So you need the high-end dessert. Yeah, that little, low-end dessert. But you see, what bothers me is that you would spend thousands of dollars on caviar, Fred Mitchell, and all this traveling you're all doing, but nothing would go in your mind. No common sense would go in your mind to say, wow, there's a lot of money in caviar. Caviar comes from fish. Why don't we get into that industry? Why don't we go into the caviar industry and start to make Bahamas caviar so that we could export it to the rest of the world? China's doing it. The Chinese caviar is taking over the market. All this traveling they're doing, they're not taking anything that we could learn from or benefit from in this traveling. All they doing is living up, while bragging on and sitting there to brag for them. Ladies and gentlemen, don't let any politician brag about giving you what is yours. Anything they give you is yours. They didn't give you nothing. That's yours. You gotta be the biggest donkey in the world for someone to say, hey, buy you a gift. I want to buy you a Christmas gift. You know what? Give me your wallet. And you give them a couple $100 of your wallet, they go buy you a Christmas gift and come back and you're like, oh, thank you so much. Oh, God bless you. Leslie Miller had something to say about all of this, about, these PLP politicians and how they operate. He called them exactly what they are. Because, see, while they got you out there begging, it hogs. Because if you could be eating caviar, and I'll tell you, Fred Mitchell, the COI had to go into your constituency recently. We don't brag. And like we said, the majority of what we do don't make it to social media. We had to go in Fred Mitchell's constituency recently and assist one of his constituents who can't get him because he's busy flying. That's what we had to do. Excuse me, just trying to get this equipment together. That's what we had to do for Fred Mitchell. We didn't come out and say anything. We got the gentleman, see some of our live streams having some issue. We got the gentleman some grocery. We gave him some money right away. And now we also made it so that he is provided with a hot meal every single day. Not everything that is done makes social media. Just want you to know that. And we are not doing that with the government's budget. We have never hands on the government budget. These fellas have been raping and robbing, so anything they give you, that's yours. You deserve to have that. They've been thieving. So of course they got the money to do these things. But we are going to make a new Bahamas that's going to benefit you. So here's what Leslie Miller had to say about these PLP hogs.
Yeah.
As I sit here before you today, there's a couple in there
Yeah, I know.
that I would wish.
I know some of them.
I would wish to stay out of their ambit.
Yeah. Stay far.
Okay? When you call them on the phone, they hang up on you.
Yeah.
Even though you walk the streets with them. And some of them like to lie.
Yes.
I hate a lie. I told one the other day. He called me, say, somebody said, you called me a liar. I said, you want me to say it again? I said, you are a liar. I said, and guess what? Leslie Miller never campaigned with you again as long as breath in my body.
Jesus.
I said, I made that from here to Christ. Because you claim to be a man of the word. Can't happen.
My Lord.
I don't like liars. And I always tell them, you should never be above those who you represent. You cannot be better than the people who put you where you are to act on their behalf. I did some of the attitude some of them got.
Yeah.
It's scary. It scares me. And it scares the consistency. I get a lot of calls. People call me every day because I don't know why. My lady called me this morning at 7:30.
They think you're still the Prime Minister.
I said, Mr. Miller, you been to my house. I said, I've been there just for plenty of hours. So what you talking about? I said, what is your MP? Mr. Miller, I know he wasn't going to be no good. I tell you he wasn't going to be no good. You tell me.
Give him a chance.
He's a good fella, gave him a break. So my host voted for him. I said, yeah, so now you got to carry my load. My daughter need to get sorted out. I can't even call the damn fella.
Jesus. See, I keep telling people that a lot of them don't believe this, but I challenged the PLPs. I challenged the PLPs on this show right here last week to give me a call on these things that are happening, especially with the situation as far as citizenship is concerned. And not one of them could call me. They can't call because, as the fella said to me on the show, he says, Steve, they're all compromised. These are dumb dogs. And I say, what you say?
Call them what?
He say, these are dumb dogs. I say, what do you mean by that? He says, that's in the Bible,
That's
man.
scripture.
Yeah, it is.
They're dumb dogs. They are so compromised, they can't even call to say anything about that particular grouping or party because they are dumb dogs.
Listen,
I was like, my Lord.
I will tell you this
And
afternoon.
that is what is actually happening because they're not going to call.
Some things can happen in this country. As time goes by, the first anniversary is next month. I think
16.
Mr. Davis has done a commendable job. He got love in his heart for the women people. If you ask me an honest question and give you an answer on the crew who there, all of them, from 1 to 10, I ain't giving no answer. Some I
can't.
love daily. Some I'll go with it tomorrow, tonight if they call me. Some again, if I never see them again, it'll be too soon. Never, I say. If I never see their shadow, it'll be too soon.
Yeah,
For Leslie Miller. Okay? When I went in Camp Road, Dave and I, for 6 weeks, working with some of them ladies and their daughter. And at the end of the day, they got nothing. And some of these damn croonies, the croonies, them set who's hang around, them bloodsuckers, who do absolutely never made a contribution financially or otherwise in their life, but they just grab and grab and grab. Okay? And they get all. And the woman called me every day crying. Dave and I take packets of her just about every week. Mr. Miller, this ain't right. And that crew, and they're living high off the hog. And my cousin Monroe, I tell you, I'm mad as hell. Wake up, man. You have an obligation to those who help you. I was with them for 6 weeks. And you got one person there calling the shots. They can't even get a contract. The hogs give it to Seth and the friends. I said it publicly today. I'm sick and tired of it. It is wrong. And they did it last time when we was giving out books and pencils and the stuff with Adrian
Even with
bought.
the school stuff.
The school stuff. In one day they took it all. Them and a couple of crew. They hogs. I didn't even speak to them. I don't deal with hogs. Hogs supposed to be on the damn kitchen table, cut up, seasoned as ham. Guy came to me today. Every day I get a call. Every day. Mr. Miller, you was here. We walked with you. We walked the road with you. This ain't right. And I get angry with those things. It bothers me.
The people are still being not really cared for.
Okay? I don't appreciate it.
Someone forward that to these swines and hogs and generation of vipers and these dumb dogs. Yes, it is in the Bible. Oh, Jesus was rough. He used to talk to those leaders bad. Call them dogs, call them swine, call them snakes, generation of vipers, poisonous snakes, killers, because that's what they are. And they are not different than the leaders we have today. You know, Leslie Miller, I saw you campaigning in Pinewood. Pinewood is still flooding, eh? We're looking forward to that real solution because even the PLP headquarters, that's today. Even the PLP headquarters flooding. Um, we need solutions, eh? We know y'all get that fix, eh? That's the PLP headquarters. So if they ain't checking for that headquarters, you know they ain't checking for you. So we're looking forward to having a solution. A Pinewood man, you give you all hell. A victim of the same flooding, to give you all hell. We already gave you a solution. You say you're gonna copy it, get it done, eh? Now, Leslie Miller, call your boy Fred and tell him he's up on the caviar, man. Tell him he's up on the caviar. You know, they're having caviar and steak and lobster, you know, while the people out here hurting and hungry and can't pay their bills. But I don't blame them. I blame the trolls who could fight for them while they balling, while they living it up. But you can't just say this is a PLP because this is a PLP and FNM. Both of them are the same. Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to wake up and realize that both PLP and FNM are one in the same. There's no difference in those parties. Don't mind them playing like this one different and that one different and we this way and they that way. They are the same. And we have to wake up and see that they've been swinging us for all this time and passing it back and forth to one another. I'm going to show you a couple of stuff where they now admitting certain things. They're now admitting their oneness, their sameness. And I don't know if y'all just plan on continuing this over and over, but I can fight, and I can fight, and I can fight. And if you fight with me, we can change this country. Because I really don't think that any of the Bahamian people want to take this anymore. Um, there was a recent FNM event. There was a recent FNM event. And at this event, a young man who used to be a DNA, he was actually one of the leaders in the DNA at one point. I guess he attended that event just to learn something more. I don't know if he joined the FNM, but he stood up and asked a question during the question and answer period to Hubert Alexander Ingram. It was a good question. And the question was, what's the difference between the FNM and the PLP? Do y'all know what Ingram answered him was? Today, we can't see, I don't really know what the difference is. You can't see no difference.
Who became what minister? So the question that I would like to ask to former Prime Minister Ingram, if he could describe it, how would you describe the political philosophy of the FNM, particularly as it compares to the PLP? We talked a lot about differences tonight, but I'm curious to know your perspective on where that biggest philosophical difference lies.
So I don't know what the differences are nowadays, but you know, because honestly, because the differences between the FNM and the PLP became more and more difficult to design during the last FNM administration than before. That's reality, you know. I never knew. What I did know is that they were more likely to go against what we had done before, and more likely to do what the PLP had done than they did with us. He is not going to carry my things anywhere. and if I can't get it, you'll have it.
That's a witch.
I find nothing about that Ingham and Christie was laughing about in the house funny. What I find funny is that Bahamians keep falling for this F&M and PLP nonsense every time. Ingram said himself, you know the difference between F&M and PLP? They one and the same. Someone says, wasn't he talking to Branville? Yes, he was. He was telling Branville, you're not going to get in. In other words, no third party get in. Ingham was saying, if he don't have it, Perry will have it. In other words, he'll give it to Perry. They'll swing it back and forth, but they can make sure no third party get in. He said it, but the Bahamian people still don't see. It's time for us to wake up. It's time for us to wake up. That is what he was saying. So every election, what they realized that they could do is strategize, kick it back and forth each other, and then no one else could get in, and they could continue to rape and rob this country. You'll notice good. When it's coming down the end of their term, they'll start doing the most nonsense to annoy the Bahamian people, to make you want to get rid of them so bad that you want to vote for the other side. I want you to sit down and think carefully to the end of Hubert Ingram's reign, 1992, how he started doing a bunch of crazy stuff to pass it to Perry. And then Perry and them started doing a bunch of crazy stuff that made no sense to make sure that you pass it back to Ingram. And then the same thing, back and forth, back and forth. Minutes slipped in there because Ingram was trying to come back. And I know I was there when it was organizing, when his people, Kiki Knowles and them was organizing, the flyers was printed, the t-shirts was printed for Ingram to come back. But his wife got sick and he couldn't come back no more. And that's how Minutes sneak in there. But they made sure it was passed back so no third party could get it, because they knew if a third party get in, they go into jail. They know they got some serious problems. They won't be in control anymore. And so even Minnis took part in this, and he started to do the craziest and stupidest things to make sure you pass this. All they want to do is get in, make their money, make their millions, get theirs and go. Get theirs, go, enjoy the next 5 years, and see if they can come back. That's it. Swing it back and forth. And y'all have to stop swinging this back and forth. Y'all have to stop swinging this back and forth. Man, I hope there's at least one woman out there sitting there and listening to me. Please, it's time to stop getting swing. Minister them riding the swing while you're getting swing, and they eating while you starving. Stop getting swing. It's time. Stand with us and stand with us. And we're going to see a change. So that's what continuously happens with the PLP and FNM are the same. I heard a voice note by Omar Archer. I'm going to play a piece of it, but he also was saying that he's listening to them and they're saying the exact same thing. And he showed some evidence of how these guys are even repeating the same things that each other is saying. You know what? I think I could play that voice note for you, because a good message could come from anybody. And I think that if you listen to this is staunch F&M. Going to jail for them. This is staunch F&M. And he is telling you that both sides are the same. He's saying that Pinta just sitting down and he being in opposition, and they working together, and they got the media on lock. Now, I don't know what got into him that day to want to make this confession, but it's 5 minutes. I think you should actually listen to this because now it's coming out of their own mouth. It's like this is a season of revealing, and somehow, the spirit is just in them and causing them to just speak. And their own are speaking. The PLPs are speaking out against the PLP. The FNMs are speaking out against the FNMs. It's happening, y'all. The evolution of the Bahamian people has begun. The unraveling has begun. I really want you to listen to this. So I'm actually going to play this.
Okay, you have a left hand, you have a right hand. Your left hand is different from your right hand, and your right hand is also different from your left hand. They're not one and the same, but they're both hands. And the same principle applies to government. You have a governing party, and also you have an opposition. They should not operate one and the same. You feel me? They should not be on the same wavelength. An opposition does just that. It opposes the policies of a government, especially if those policies that does not directly benefit the lives of the average Bahamian citizen. I said that to say this Tuesday. I was listening to leader Michael Pintard on the talk show, and he was very good, actually. To be honest with you, I was very impressed with him. He made a statement that really got my attention. He said there's no one blueprint on change or for change. And I texted him while he was on the show, and I said, you need to own this statement and completing it with just one word. And that one word he should have used to complete that statement was the word yet, Y-E-T. So he should have said, there's no one blueprint for change yet. And by saying yet, it says maybe then his vision may be the actual blueprint for the future for this country. So I told him to own that brilliant statement. Later on that day, I decided, to critique an article that was written by Brave Davis when he spoke about fiscal insanity. And also, he said that he intends to balance the Bahamian budget of $12 billion fiscal year. That is preposterously insane. Now that's beyond selling dreams. That's grasping for straws. But when I was reading his article that he wrote in the Tribune, that he published by the Tribune, I came across a statement, and it said, this fiscal insanity must end, and the government that was elected last September is doggedly determined to do just that, as a vital foundation for its transformation or transformative blueprint for change. That was on the very same day that Michael Pintard appeared on that talk show. That was in the newspaper that very same morning. So it seemed to me as if the opposition and the government are operating on the same wavelength. And to me, that spells a recipe for disaster for the average Bahamian citizen. By that I mean this. I heard, or I read in the papers of an altercation, an article written by the chairman. Later on that day, I heard PLP operatives, Warren McCartney, who had the very same points as he was talking in his article. So it seems to me as if it's deliberate that both the opposition and government are working together, one on one, hand in hand. Hence the reason why Hubert Ingram scolded them when they had the event and eating with Papa. And it's terrible. And you think in terms of, what it is that they're trying to do to deceive the average Bahamian people to think that they're operating on their behalves when they're actually operating to serve their own personal and selfish agendas. And that's terrible. Because in the end, it's we, the average Bahamian citizen, who would suffer. You cannot have an opposition that's operating hand in hand with the government. Let me ask you a question. You're all aware of the scandal and corruption going on in road traffic. And I've been saying for weeks, some 600 taxi plates have been sold. However, it's been brought to my attention that it could be up to 1,200. That's pretty criminal. That should make front page news every single day. And that minister should have been made to resign by now. But no, that's not newsworthy. What's newsworthy to them is trivial. So it's important that we understand and focus on what's really going on. They're taking you for fools, taking us for fools. We, the average Bahamian citizen, this is not an opposition. This is not the way an opposition functions nor operates. They're working hand in hand with the government. And it's quite obvious. The Progressive Liberal Party has weaponized the media. They've politically weaponized the media. Of course, they would deny it. They never ever want to be anything they do. But that is the truth. The truth of the matter is, they are one and the same. There's no getting around that. This is a caretaker opposition. It's not a real opposition. Trust me on that. Therefore, I just rest my burdens at his feet. And when I rest my burdens at his feet, I just say simply, fix it. Fix it, Jesus. Fix it.
His words on the PLP and FNM are quite true. His words on what this government is doing to the media is quite true. The PLP and the FNM are the same, and they are working together. Everything that they're doing together. Everything. Wake up, Bahamas, or we're going to be in trouble. I'm going to talk about some more things in a minute. But, ladies and gentlemen, I want to move on to something else now. There's so much people hurting in this country, man. But there are some people in Abaco. We got to talk about some corruption with the police in Abaco. We get to that in a minute. But before we get there, I got to talk because I got a call from a woman on the phone who was crying, an elderly lady in Abaco, crying. She couldn't even compose herself. And this elderly lady was saying how she couldn't believe that her, her government that she voted in was throwing her on the street. She couldn't believe it, that her government was doing that. She sees the shanty towns building up everywhere. She sees how they're being assisted and they're helping them, these illegals to do whatever they want to do. She sees it. And she couldn't believe it. She was in tears. It's just her daughter, and her granddaughter living in the dome together. They don't have the money to move. She said that rent in Abaco right now, that rent in Abaco starts at around $1,000. Starts. And she said, and they were rushing them. They just, maybe a month or less ago, she said they told them they got to move by this time. And there was no warning. And, when they saw, we'd advise the people and some of the people weren't moving. They said, okay, we give you $4,000 after you move, not before to help you move. And the reason they ain't giving it you before is because you could take the money and still stay there. Because they have no legal right to make you move. Only the courts can make you move. And they cannot make you move right now because there's an injunction that covers Abaco. They can't interfere with you at all. And so they dangled the carrot of $4,000 over everyone's head. And people started moving. So far, no one has received the $4,000. If it's 40 homes, 40 domes, and it's $4,000. It's about $160,000. It's nothing for the government. They could give you that money if they want to. And because we're putting pressure on them now, they're going to have to give you that money. Because they're going to look really bad if they make you move and, they didn't give you the money. So you're going to get the money as long as we're speaking up against it. But to see the tears of that woman, how she is saying how, her grandchild has to go to school on Monday, which is tomorrow, and they were trying to get them out by Saturday, and they were putting pressure at a town hall meeting last week and told them they got to get out. They got to get out now. And they were treating them like animals. Just get. They're Like you meet a dog in your yard and you just come and get a rock and just throw it at them and say, get. That's how they're treating Bahamians. While the foreigners are taking us over. That's how they're treating them. They told them you all have to get out now. They know that we would have advised those people that you can't be moved legally. They can't touch you. So they dangle the carrot of $4,000 over their heads. It's shameful. They said Brave Davis came there for some ceremony and said some of them wanted to talk to him. Say Brave jump in the car and gone. He ain't doctor. Nobody is jumping. Gone. Sped out of there. The more things change, the more they remain the same. Because things have not changed. We've not had a change in government. Ever. We've had the same people back and forth. Back and forth. We need real change. And so those people, so the update on that is that they are pressuring them to get out. Some persons are still there. So cars, government people came around, but they know they can't force them to move legally. So they're not, forcing them to move yet. But they want to force them to move. But we're going to continue to advise those people that right now you cannot be legally removed. You cannot. And any money that's given away, that's your money, eh? Ain't giving you nothing. That's your money. That's your money. Don't fall for it. And so we went down there and we discovered something last week and we wondered if the media would cover it. And it seems like only ZNS covered it. But the majority being people got to see it. And it is that same story that we told you about. The story that the government of this Bahamas, your government, under the criminal menace, bought domes as a money-making scheme. But they didn't buy the domes. They had Sabas buy the domes. And then they reported to being in public they spent certain amount of money on domes. They didn't spend $1 on domes. Sabas paid for it. Now, where did the money go? There needs to be a commission of inquiry. Brave Davis, before election, was calling for a commission of inquiry on the spending, on the disaster relief spending. Now, Brave is saying he's not even going to give account. He's have no timeline on when we going to give any account for what minister do. Because he got to cover some stuff up too. That's how it works. But we went out there and ZNS did a story. Thank you, ZNS, for covering this. But they did a story because the minister responded. Here's what the minister had to say in case you missed it.
Abaco tonight, a viral video creating quite a stir among some residents of Abaco. The video by leader of Coalition of Independence, Lincoln Bean, and others reportedly uncovering a quantity of new unused domes and other materials in a trailer in Abaco. Now, Member of Parliament for North Abaco, Kirk Cornish, attempting to clear the air on the issue. He says he has spoken to the director of the Disaster Relief Authority, Alex Storr, about the matter.
He indicated that he is completing his investigation and there has been some discovery of some things that are not being justified as yet. I don't want to comment on them things because I'm not sure of the legality behind it. However, we have discovered that there are quite a number of domes that are in the bushes right on the on the north side of Spring City. Were left there. They're basically brand new, never used. I kind of think it was a waste of resources, funds, to have them sit there. Even though I think the dome itself is a horrible idea. If you're going to spend $6.4 million, that should have gone into permanent homes.
The Abaco MP says once the investigation is completed, the government is prepared to let the law take its course.
So, ladies and gentlemen, of course they covered it because it makes the the minutes government look bad. Of course, they covered it and commented on it. Um, but you mean to tell me the PLP government been in for a year now, and they ain't see them dooms right there on the side of the road? Lincoln and Maria and Charlotte, them, Kai, Crystal, etc., had to go there and find them domes. You mean to tell me the PLP government didn't know that they was there? Now they can let the chips fall where they may. What chips? Y'all are going to do nothing. Nothing. Someone said they finally covered Lincoln when it's to their benefit. You're going to do nothing, and so that's where we are with this nonsense. You know. All right. Speaking of Abaco, there's been some. There's going to be a concert there in a few days. Clint Watson had a back and forth row with the citizen there because you know, um, Clint basically made a statement that they're going to have a celebration about this Abaco, the deaths in Abaco, about the tragedy, that there's going to be a celebration, y'all. Yeah, you heard me right. A celebration in Abaco for Dorian. And the people in Abaco are distraught and angry over this. And so someone voiced their opinion. See, and the PLP don't allow you to voice your opinion. They don't want you to have a voice. They want you to sit down and shut up and just worship them. Don't say nothing bad about them. Don't say nothing that could be against them. They want you to bow down and worship. That's all they want from you. Anything outside of that is a problem. And so Clint decided that he was going to have a back and forth. He was going to go after this lady and have something to say to her. And that's something that Clint does. He just does it to other people too. But this lady decided to make it public. But I don't like where he went with that. And that's why I'm covering this today. It was petty and low down and stupid, Clint. And to go and basically call this woman a criminal and imply that she was doing something illegal and saying that all the police were nodding their heads while you're speaking. So that means she's doing something illegal because she released your conversation. Listen, yes, she released the conversation and she did it in the public interest. Go ask your lawyers or the attorney general what that means. If it's in the public interest, persons can release information. Go ask your lawyers. That's in the public interest because you, as a person in a high office being paid by us, would go and text this woman in a very womanish like way, Clint. A person who had lost and who is hurting don't need you to tell them anything about what you're doing. She needs you to feel her and the rest of the people of Abaco and what they went through. Sometimes people are just hurting and you should just let them vent. Everyone has a low moment when they're going through. Y'all are digging out people's wounds right now. Y'all are tearing off the scab by what y'all are doing with this celebration. And this is the people who have a right to express themselves. Why? Would you feel the need to go after this woman? Come on, Clint. You gotta do better than that. These politicians need to stop being touchy. And these male politicians and appointees need to stop being womanish. There's nothing wrong with a woman being womanish, but there's something wrong with a man being womanish. Some things you can just let go, Clint. You don't have to address everybody. You are in a high office, a respectable office. Why are you harassing Bahamians who are hurt? Some things you can let go. Jessica Mullen is the person he responded to, and she said she wants Clinton to tell her how she broke the law. I would like Clinton to say how this woman broke the law. But I'm going to let you hear what Clint had to say. I'm going to let you hear what Clint had to say. Very disappointed and disturbed at this. But here is Clint, and here's what he had to say. Sorry about that.
Press Secretary Clint Watson coming under fire today as one Abaco resident speaks out against the Dorian Relief Concert and after a conversation that displaced Dorian survivor was made public. Watson made the announcement a few weeks back, but it didn't sit well with a number of residents like Jessica Mullen, who hasn't been able to return to Abaco since the storm.
As a survivor, it is truly offensive to think that any administration can feel it's appropriate to host a celebration in Nassau while so many continue to struggle with basic necessities such as power and running water in Abaco and Grand Bahama. To then further acknowledge our feelings but proceed on states, we hear you, but we don't care.
Mullen joins others who found the event insensitive, adding that the use of the term celebration is insulting. Some expressing outrage on social media, saying, "Hurricanes destroys homes and kills hundreds of Bahamians. The government, let's throw a party." Meanwhile, another said they rather have a concert instead of doing the right thing by issuing building supplies that were donated for the survivors. Mullen says she made her position known by commenting on related posts on social media. After this, she said she received personal messages from Watson.
I find that to be highly unprofessional. I could never fathom in that position crossing an inappropriate line and messaging anyone, let alone a victim of a storm.
When asked, Watson said he didn't recall the conversation. The concert slated for next Thursday was called a celebration, but Watson later termed it as a fundraising event.
If I inbox somebody regarding their concerns and questions regarding a concert, and they chose to post that, that's even a different conversation. That's a different issue all by itself. That you post something publicly without somebody's consent, and the police are here nodding their heads.
While Watson says he's heard those who opposed it, he maintains it's for the Bahamian people.
We've sought to address people's concerns. As I said, I sought to, even when people inbox me or explain to me or call me or text me, I spend time trying to explain so that people's questions can be answered. I do recognize, though, that there are some people who have their own reasons and own agendas, and I can't get into a back and forth over something that we are doing.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Anthony McDermott.
Ladies and gentlemen, yeah. The response that he gave to her, I think, was extremely inappropriate. And, a lot of people are disappointed in Clint Watson and what he has become. But this is what he was planning from the beginning. And this is how politics goes. And many of us, as a people, fall for this stuff. And, well, that's what we get when we fall for these politicians. And this causes people to not trust activists and to not trust people who say they're ready to fight for the Bahamian people. That's what it really causes. And in some instances, I can't blame people for being cautious in that way because these so called people keep letting you down because they're only in it for themselves. I can tell you, Brave Davis made several attempts to try to pull me in before election and even after election. I made sure that he understood clearly that I am not for sale. They have nothing I want, and I am here to fight for this one Bahamas that we have. There's nothing you can offer me that I want. Clint's response was this to the woman. You saw how professional her comments were that, she think that with them having all these problems in Abaco, they still have electricity problems. Some people still don't have electricity to this day. That's 2 years ago. Water problems, all these different problems. They're still trying to build back, and y'all going to celebrate. And now they want to add to it by saying, "Oh, we can do a collection while we're there." Mhm. No, it's a free trip for y'all to tour the family islands, pay for hotel rooms, pay for cars on our money. This probably cost y'all millions. So even if y'all collect hundreds of thousands there from the Bahamians who would attend, which y'all won't. To that woman, and I see some of our broadcasts are having some connection issues right now. Stay focused. He said, "You became the voice of the voiceless and still the one fighting to ensure relief." No, Clint, you were the voice of the PLP. That is what you were. You were the voice of the PLP. You would attack Minnis and his government and say nothing about Brave and his government for the entire time you were doing that show. About Brave and the opposition, I should say, or the PLP. You sat there and you attacked Minnis and the FNM because you were on the payroll and you promised, meaning that you were promised something. Just admit to it and we could respect you a little bit more. You were not fighting for the Bahamian people. I remember when we were releasing our documentaries on Beyond the Headline. The first documentary seemed to be after the FNM and the Aragonite deal. When we switched to the about the PLP, Brave Davis connection, uh, 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 and Hudson's connection, PLP's connection, and we were showing the documents. Clint didn't run it that week. Clint said, "No." You remember we had a week we had to skip. Clint made us take things that made the PLP look bad out of the documentary. All of a sudden, the documentary wasn't good enough because now the oil, when we switched to oil, he didn't want that in there. It had to be modified. From the very beginning, he was working for the PLP on the show. Punches. Just like Rod Henfield, whose name should actually to make it seem independent because Minnis didn't have any traction. Minnis had no traction in the beginning. They would call for marches, no one would come. They would call for rallies, they end up having a rally in Nali. I remember what they called it, the rally in Nali, because they didn't expect no one to come. And so he felt that the only way they could get some traction to fight against the government was to get John Boswick and Renard Henfield to come together. Renard did not switch and sell out. Renard okay? And so they deceive the people. There started to be a little fallout when so much money. That's my business. But there was a plan from the beginning. Y'all stop falling for the tricks of these politicians. It's time to wake up. Yeah, they're playing with the internet. Yeah, they play with the internet. So that's what the plan was. And so we got to be wise and wake up. So I just want to show you this, Clint. Clint's one to that woman was, "You think I'm out of touch? I was the one who became the voice of the voiceless and still the one fighting to ensure relief comes to the people. You clearly don't know me." Yeah. And he did that with an exclamation mark. "You clearly don't know me. I am the one who sits around the table every day pushing to get the relief program started and reaching out to the corporate communities to help restore." Clint, this entire PLP government, with different people being paid for this, and you are now telling us that the PLP government is failing because you have to be the one pushing to get program started? Clint, is that what you're saying about the PLP? That you have to do this? The party joking? Clint, what are you saying about the Progressive Liberal Party? We are paying persons for this. We have a Ministry of Social Services. And Clint, you are saying that you are the one pushing every day to get the relief program started and reaching out to the corporate community to help restore. You doing that? Clint just indicted the PLP. I continue. He said, "That's what I am doing. So don't come here telling me about being out of touch or disrespectful when I've indicated my time. Sorry, I've dedicated my time to defending and reaching out to help people." Tell me anything in there that Clint had to say that was necessary to say. This was him being touchy. This was him being defensive. This wasn't someone asked a question on social media and you were answering their question. That's not what this is. This is you insulting this woman and being disrespectful. That's what this is. Clint, you watch my broadcast every time. I'm going to say to you, man to man, mano a mano, man up, Clint. We need a Bahamas with strong men. Men who can take us into the next Bahamas. Man up, Clint. This does not look good on you. Clint, I made every effort to be diplomatic just now. Don't answer me. Don't backtalk me. Just get it right. Because if you backtalk me, there's going to be some serious issues. Because Bahamians are tired of you sellout political prostitutes who think you are untouchable, who think that you can bully and insult people and victimize people. We ain't interested in that in this dispensation. We are moving on and we're moving forward. Clint, man up and stop acting like a lady. Enough is enough. I'm going to move on to one more thing before I open the phone lines. Um, before I open the phone lines, we had the wonderful opportunity. We were to be able to go into Abaco, into Hope Town, because there was some things that appeared to be corruption Some things that appeared to be corruption that was going on. A hotel was refused the license by the board in Hopetown, by the council, and somehow the person went to Nassau and got a license. It was shocking. No one could understand how this happened or why this would happen. But that is what they did. We're tired of corruption in this country, man. And we went down there, we straightened it out, we showed the council their rights and the law, etc., and they were able to revoke the license of that person. All is fine and good, perfect. The council did what they had to do because they were very concerned about the fact that this person didn't seem to have BAI, Bahamas Investment Authority approval, because they're a foreigner. And how could you go around the council in Nassau? And I'm going to show you the law on that in a second, all right? How could you go around the council in Hopetown, and go to Nassau? And they were very concerned that they revoked the person's license. Now, the only thing left to happen now is for the person to be served. Now, it was delivered to them via email, so they are notified, and their lawyer received that email also. So they are notified, technically. But what concerns me is that the chief counselor then got information from the police, where the police is saying that on the island is saying that they got instructions to stand down on serving the letter to the hotel in question. The police got instructions from their senior officer to not serve the letter revoking the license. The police got instructions from their senior officer, and they called the name, from their senior officer, they're saying, to not obey the law. The senior officer spoke to the council person, the chief counselor, and said, listen, this is a civil matter, and the police can't get involved with this because this is a civil matter. How is operating without a business license a civil matter? That is a criminal matter. The police issuing a warning from the government. The council is the government, that's local government. The government is saying to this person, this hotel, you are operating illegally, we've revoked your license, we've shut you down, and the police is asked to deliver that to them. And the police is saying, no, that's a civil matter. Nothing worse for any nation than when you have police officers who don't know the law. Over the last several months, you've seen our interactions with the police, and you've seen how much police officers we've come into contact with who literally don't know the law. And the problem is, these are not junior officers. These are officers who you would expect to know the law. This is amazing. And so what we have to do on the show today, because we know the government and the police and everyone else, they watch this show. So what we have to do is we have to teach them the law while we're teaching you the law. We would expect to teach you the law, but to have to teach the police the law, that's disgraceful. So his excuse was, no, we can't serve nothing on them. How many of you have been served with letters by the police? We can't serve nothing on them. That's a civil matter. That's the saying. How could it, if the government is revoking the license of an individual, that's not a civil matter. That's the government. You work for the government. What kind of nonsense is this? That we expected this. So let me show you all the law quickly, because we don't just talk. because we know there's so much corruption out there. We got to make sure we're always on point when it comes to the law. And so let's show the police, in case it's their decision to just be corrupt in Abaco, let's show them the law. This is the Business License Act. A couple laws in relation to this. This is the Business License Act. All right? Issuance of license and assessments. This is Section 3 of the Business License Act. All right? Section 3. It says, license required to carry on a business. No person shall carry on a business within the Bahamas without the grant license of a license duly issued to him in accordance with the requirements of this act. Is this not the law? No person shall carry on business. This is law. This ain't civil. It's law. All right? So this is what the law stipulates and what the law says. At the end of this, it also in subsection 6 says where an application is made in respect of a regulated business, so that's like a hotel or some other business like that, because they come under certain regulations also. Where an application is made in respect of a regulated business, the application shall be accompanied by a grant of approval in writing made under the other law regulating that business. Okay? And so that's how it works. So if you have a hotel and it comes under that, or that you want to be a dentist and you have to be under a certain act, or you want to be a doctor, you have to be under a certain act, you gotta have that and then come for your business license. You have to have the two of them. All right? And so that's how it works. You have to have one at all times to be able to operate. Now, offenses and penalties. What offenses mean? Crime. Breaking the law. Offenses, penalties, and powers. All right? Offenses, penalties, and powers. This is the law. All right? This is the law. And so all of these show that if you're operating without a business license, see, any person who in any year without lawful excuse carries on a business in respect of which there is no license issued under this act in force, or any of these other things, all right? So like failed obstructs a secretary, change the name without permission, all this kind of stuff, commits an offense and shall be liable on summary conviction of that offense to a fine of $5,000, in addition to any fine to a sum of $100 for each day the offense continues subsequent to the day. So this is a police matter. Didn't you see in Freeport recently, they went and arrested persons who they said were operating without a license? They said they were mechanics. They went and locked them up. Some of them license would have had a license expired, or some people, they weren't even doing any business and they were arrested. It was a police matter. The police went there with the Port Authority, but the police in Abaco seem to be under a different law, because so far they're not lining up with our laws. Now let's go to the Hotel Act. Go to the Hotel Act. Hotels to be operated only under license granted by the board. So, this is the Hotel Act. Section 3 again. Section 3 is the origin. That's where they normally tell you what is what. From and after the commencement of this act, but subject to subsection 3 of section 4 and to section 7, no person shall operate any premises as an hotel, they say an, some of us say a hotel, an hotel except under and in accordance with the terms of a valid license granted under the said section 4 by the Hotels Licensing Board, which is hereby established, authorizing him to operate these premises as an hotel. All right? So you cannot operate a hotel without a license. This is not Uh, this is not what do you call civil, this is criminal. Subsection 15, the board may, upon application and behalf made to any person, they may issue license. So that's what that's talking about there. And so they can issue license to persons. And so they talk about the collecting of fees, collecting of taxes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's what they talk about. They say you must keep the books, et cetera. Um, and they want you to do this thing properly. Penalty for operating a hotel without license. So this is a penalty. So this is a crime. Section 22 of the Act. Any person who without lawful excuse operates any premises as well when there is not in force a license granted by the board authorizing him to operate those premises as a hotel, or having been granted such license, operates the hotel in respect of which that license has been granted, otherwise and in accordance with the terms of the license, shall be guilty of an offense. Ladies and gentlemen, does that sound like a crime to you? And liable on summary conviction, this is not civil, you're not convicted in civil court, to a fine not exceeding $500 for each day during which he so operated such premises. This is a criminal matter. And lastly, I will show you. This is the Local Government Act. The Local Government Act. All right? This is local government. Let me go to the end so you can see it. Local government. All right? This is what the council come under. Local Government Act. All right? I'm going to go to section 14A4 of this act. 14A4. So I want you to see that the police are behaving ultra-vires, and their actions seem to be corruption to me or ignorance, one of the two. And so it says, I got to read from the beginning for you to get understanding. Notwithstanding the provision of any other law, but subject to subsections 2 and 3, each council of a district, it's a council now, of a district other than a district specified in the third schedule, A, shall appoint, and this is what they can do, shall appoint boards which shall have and exercise, which shall have and, sorry, they threw me off, exercise in relation to that, this person keeps calling back and I'm rejecting the call, shall have and exercise in relation to that district, all right? So this is the powers that they shall have. They shall exercise these powers. This is one of the powers here, section 4. The powers, Jesus, if your call is being rejected, stop calling. The powers of the Hotel Licensing Board to grant, renew, transfer, and cancel licenses and to vary the terms and conditions of licenses under the provisions of the Hotels Act. So the council of local government has the exact same powers of the board you saw in the other law. So the powers of the hotel license board to grant, renew, transfer, and cancel licenses and to vary the terms and conditions of license. So the local government council cancels. If they cancel your license, that is the government canceling your license. And if you continue to operate with a canceled or revoked license, you are breaking the law. Now, the police must then come in and the police must enforce the law when you are breaking the law. This is the law. And so for the police down there, sorry, his name has slipped me. So if anyone here knows his name, we need to call his name. You need to call up the senior police officer down there. Who's the police officer in charge down there in Abaco? Someone post their name, please. They'll post their name so that they could know that we're talking to them. So they can know that we're talking to them. Because the police must carry out the law. They have a duty to carry out the law. And so if the local, the chief counselor instructs you to deliver a letter to someone who is outside of the law, who is breaking the law, the police cannot refuse to do so. When we get to a country where the police is refusing to enforce the law, it's anarchy. Why should anyone obey the law if the police don't obey the law? Is this corruption in Abaco from the officer in charge? Someone who's the officer in charge, man? Y'all, I forgot his name. Don't make me have to call and find out because we call names on here. All right, someone y'all please post the name of that officer down there in Abaco in charge. A letter was delivered to the officer in charge to inform him of certain things, and the officer on the desk refused to receive the letter from the person serving the letter on them. Refused. Said he didn't sign up no letter for the officer in charge. This, the level. Now you can see why Abaco is being taken over and the police sitting there and doing nothing. Immigration ain't doing nothing. No one doing nothing. It's total anarchy and corruption. If the police don't serve a letter on that hotel and shut them down, this is not a civil matter. If the hotel has an issue, it's their job to take it to court. But their license has been revoked. This is what we've come to. This is where we have come. And so we showed you from last week the reasoning why that hotel license had to be revoked, why that could never have been accepted in a regular country. No one would have accepted that. That is right next door. I mean, literally right next door to someone's bedroom, where music and dance and carrying on, I mean, of every kind, was to be going on there. I mean, what as a person, as a regular Bahamian, what do you do when the law is not interested in what you have to say, when the law does not care about you? When anyone can come because they're a foreigner, because they have money, and they can do anything they want, and you can't say nothing because someone get tip under the table. When we've reached that level, let me tell you in charge of all this. You know who in charge? You know who's responsible for this? Chester Cooper. Chester Cooper, I call it your name. This come under you. Chester, this you. You are the one. You are the one who's allowing this to happen. You are the one. So if there's any corruption, we need you to fix it. Otherwise, it's clearly you behind it. So Chester, if you don't fix this, that's because it's you who's getting paid off. That's the conclusion that we've come to. Chester, fix it, or we can fix you. So, as you can see here, we have the letter from the Bahamas Investment Authority, and it is written to Sherry's Way. It authorizes Sherry's Way to do a hotel, but Sherry's Way never did a hotel. They went and got a hotel license in the name of Hope Town Island Retreat. But it's a foreigner, so because these foreigners, they have to go to the Bahamas Investment Authority, get permission there first before they can do this. But they didn't, because this ain't Sherry's Way. And he had a license, the other business license, Hope Town Island Retreat. So how you get a license for Hope Town Island Retreat? Who did you present this to? Is this a fraudulent document? Because when the council asks you to produce this, you refuse, which is actually against the law. It's against the law to refuse to show certain persons your license, anyone who's a potential customer or any government authority. So you got this license and didn't show them your Bahamas Investment Authority thinks that Shari's way, and they gave you a license for Hope Island Retreat and a hotel license for Hope Town Island Retreat, I see why the council shut you down. You got some serious issues here. And like this gentleman said,
this is the master bedroom. This is our pod where we spend every night. And right there is a residence that's been turned into a hotel with a bar and restaurant and parties.
you see the building right next door? That's where the party at. And his bedroom is right there.
This is the master bedroom. This is our pod where we spend every night. And right there is a residence that's been turned into a hotel with a bar and restaurant.
Imagine that music licking off in your head every night. Can you imagine that? Yeah. The Island Retreat. Cantina. We ain't see no license for Cantina. But see here they have an advertisement. A big party going down. DJ Sapphire. Summer party. The Island Retreat. July 22nd. 5 p.m. This when we went down there and they shut the thing down. Yeah. This is where they have it. I think that's the man house right there. Just them. Wow. Wow. See in the back there? The man house right next door. And this them. This is where they have the party on the decks. Yeah. Open. The opening hours is till 3 a.m. I think it's till 3 a.m. Guess what that says? See the party here? 5 p.m. until happy hour drinks all night. 2 for 10 chicken house from 5 to 8. Party all night. You can imagine a party from DJ Sapphire licking in them people ears all night. And Chester Cooper, them happy with that. At the Island Retreat. This is a party spot. Can you imagine that? It's the front of it. It's with the entrance. It's a party spot. Can you imagine that? Again, show you one more time. Look.
This is the master bedroom. This is our pod where we spend every night. And right there is a residence that's been turned into a hotel with a bar and restaurant and parties.
Corruption. Corruption. So if the police in Abaco does not shut this place down after the license has been revoked, there's only one explanation: corruption. The fact that she could go around the council and get a license without them, it shows you that something wrong. Something is seriously wrong. The law actually shows you how you get a license. Family Island, you're supposed to go to the local Family Island administration. And so that is why everyone is shocked that this person was able to go around the law to get their license. Everyone is shocked. The Office of the Prime Minister is shocked. No one knows how this went down. And so the only person can straighten this out and explain this is Chester Cooper, because again, Chester Cooper is the minister responsible. Now let's see if Chester Cooper can turn this around and give her a license back. Let's see. Let's see if Chester Cooper is going to go against the wishes of the people. Let's see the level of corruption that we're going to see in our Bahama land. Let's see what's going to happen. What do you think is going to happen? Let me read the law again for you. I want you to see this. This is in terms of getting your license. License required to carry on business. This is in subsection 3 again. Just want to make sure you all see the law with your very own eyes. Let me just make it so you all can see this again. Sure. I want you to see the law to show you who's supposed to be licensing people on the Bahama Island. All right? Subsection 3. Subject to this act, where a person intends in any year after this act comes into force to commence carrying on a new business or a new branch of an existing business, he shall apply as prescribed for a business license too. So if you want a license, you shall apply for your business license to who? 1, the secretary, if the business is located in New Providence. So this way you go to the registrar to get your business license. The secretary is there. If you're in New Providence, right? So this is where you go in. If you're in Providence, you go to New Providence. Or an officer in the business license office or public treasury if the business is located on the Family Island. So you go to these places in the Family Island, if it's in the Family Island, the business license office or the public treasury on the Family Islands, or the office of the administrator where there is no business license office or public treasury. So in Hope Town, there's no business license office or public treasury. So you go to the administrator. How you get to Nassau if you're on a Family Island? The law tells you who you can go to. So if the law say you must apply here, but you went and apply in New Providence, your license is null and void. I'm sure this makes sense to non-corrupt Bahamians. I'm sure it makes sense. All right, and like we said, if it's a regulated business, you got to get that first. So just wanted you all to see that. This is the law. This is how it works. We don't mess around when it comes to that. But you can't go to Nassau. The law tells you where you must go. And you must deal with the Family Island. So if the Family Island have a business license office or the treasury located there like Freeport, like Grand Bahama, but where you are in Hope Town, you don't have it. So how you get in Nassau? Now let's see how corrupt the government is. I'm going to open the phone lines in a minute. So I'm going to do that now because I don't want that might be a private call, just making sure some people don't know I'm live. So I'm going to stop right there and I'm going to open the phone lines. The phone number to call, regular or WhatsApp. The phone number to call is 803-5995. 803-5995 is the number to call. 803-5995. It's there on the screen. 803-5995 is the number to call. Call us. Let's talk about some of the things we talked about today. I know I should have brought you in a little bit earlier, but that's some of the things we wanted to address today. We always come with our papers and our facts, and we want to hear from you. Don't be shy. Please call in. Talk to us. Does the MP have any say? Is the MP for Abaco privy to this? The MP to Abaco knows exactly what's going on, and we have heard the MP to Abaco's name called in this. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it right there. We've heard the MP for Abaco's name called in this, but we're going to leave it right there. All right? So we just want what is right to happen. We just want what is right to go down, and that's it. All right? So 803-5995 is the number. Call us in. Let's hear your voice. Come, talk. Let's see what's going on wherever you are in the world. Diane McGriff said watching from Tampa. Welcome, Diane McGriff. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. The New Bahamas is coming. The New Bahamas is here. All right. So please call in 8035 Come on, come on. I sure y'all have something to say. I sure y'all have something to say about what's been going on. How do you feel about what's going on in Abaco with the domes, with the payments being thrown out? How do you feel about the government and this Ginger Moxie putting stuff on the bags and her name on the bag so that we could identify these and castigate these children who couldn't afford to buy bags? We need a new Bahamas. Billions of dollars is being made. Ashvin Walks is watching from Toronto. Thank you so much. Billions of dollars being made in this country every single day. A treasure is being found. Let me just say this to everyone listening. We have found some treasure. We have found treasure. You can leave that right there. But we're going for our treasure. Just how we going for our crown land, we going for our treasure. Eh? Now, when you call in, make sure to turn down your whatever you're watching on, whether it's Facebook or whatever it is, so that we don't have feedback. Good afternoon, you're live.
Good afternoon, how you doing?
I'm awesome. How you doing?
All right, good evening to all. I have one question, Mr. Bean.
Yes.
Tell me something. All these government departments, it really bothers me that all of these government departments are receiving a salary. They're not doing what they're paid to do. Is there got to be some form of salary deduction or something from these people and return the money back to the governments?
Well, as long as they're coming to work, I don't know if you mean the workers themselves or the government departments themselves. Which one do you mean?
Yeah, I mean the workers. It's like you're paying them, you're paying immigration. That's example. You're paying the immigration to deal with immigrants. You're paying the police to deal with criminals and whatever offenses. Right? You're paying the defense force to protect the borders. None of these things are going on, but they're receiving a salary.
Yeah, I can tell you one thing that happened in the States, and that's an excellent point. What happened in the States was that when the police officers were continuously caught abusing persons, especially black persons, and people were tired of it, and nothing seemed to be coming out of it. What they started to do is push for these departments to be defunded. And so some politicians push for them to defund certain police departments. And so that way, you're not going to get paid because we're not sending you the money and we're not giving you the budget to pay these officers unless you do something about it. And that is how they got some change. And now you're not seeing as much of that nonsense happening now because, they're not going to feel it unless it is their pocket. You see, a police officer could beat you up because he believes you could sue the police force. And that's why we are suing some officers on their personal basis, like Forrester Carroll, the officer who was out in the farm abusing people. So that's how you have to deal with it.
That's excellent. I mean, but it really bothers me to see that they are sitting down and like everything else is being allowed in this country. And it's like, I'm really proud of what y'all are doing. I am so happy someone actually had the particular fortitude to step forward and deal with these criminals, man.
Thank you. Thank you. And all we need is for people to stand with us, and we're going to have this change.
Right, and hope so. I wait for the next lap.
All right. Thank you, man. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
See ya. Okay. Phone is ringing. Let me see if I can get that. Good afternoon and welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Ben. I have a question, and
Yes.
it goes back to the citizenship part of this thing.
Yes.
I mean, if you look in the newspaper just about every day, you have a negotiation in the news line for citizenship.
Yes.
Is it, can we put a moratorium on citizenship that goes back a certain amount of years? Can that be stopped for now until the referendum is voted on by the Bahamian people?
Yes,
Or can there be
Yes, we can. We can put an end. Every citizenship, we can investigate to see if there was corruption involved in the granting of it. Every single one of them. You can put a moratorium. You can put a hold. Citizens citizenship can be revoked as long as they're not an organic Bahamian. What we call an organic Bahamian means you're born here or your parents born here. If you're a paper Bahamian, your citizenship can be revoked, and so with cause. And so something has to happen because there seems to be a lot of corruption going on. I want to say this, and I want to say this in front of the whole Bahamas. I received information from custom officers. One of them was able to give me exact numbers because he was taking note, but not custom officers, immigration officers. I received information from one particular officer, and there was more than one, who said he alone cleared 250 Haitian immigrants by plane at the airport. All of them had work permits last week. 250 of them. That's one officer. And so imagine how many officers are there working. And he said him alone did 250. So if him one do 250 for the week, in in 4 weeks you got 1,000 of them. That's just him. So if you had 4 officers working that week with him, that's 1,000 right there. While y'all are watching the boats, they are coming in on plane. Thank you for your call. Sorry, I started talking. While y'all are watching the boats, they are coming in by plane. While y'all focus on the boat and being distracted. In addition, I want to say that I heard Keith Bell say that they had some repatriations and the news was in there. No one there. No one know when they had this. We do not believe you, Keith Bell. We do not believe that you had a repatriation. You seem to be lying. There were some Cubans that we have confirmed with airport personnel who were put on regular flights and ran back. We know about that. We cannot confirm that 130 Haitians were repatriated. We don't know how this happened. We spoke to our contacts in security and police, in immigration, who cannot say that 130 Haitians were repatriated last week, like you said. On Wednesday, there was some Cubans that went back that we can account for. We need you to account for if you actually sent back the 130 plus Haitian immigrants. You are lying. As much as y'all brag when y'all doing these repatriations, you went to Nagua, you had it all over TV. Show us where you repatriated them. Show us some documentation. This ain't the old Bahamians who, whatever MP say, you just believe it. We don't believe it. Show us that this happened. And moving forward, every time you do repatriations, make sure you have the media there so we can see. We can see the people being carted onto the plane and we can see them leaving. Other than that, we don't believe you. As far as I'm concerned, no repatriations have taken place. No, not one. Give us a call, 803-5995, 803-5995. Keith Bell, we do not believe you. No repatriation of the Haitian nationals have taken place. Yes, some Cubans were put on a plane. We don't know if it's the 30 that they were supposed to be. We have no accounting. We don't believe you. You are lying. So if you want us to believe you, make sure the media there, eh? Because according to our investigation, we cannot, we spoken to persons at the airport. There was some repatriation last week, which we know to be Cubans. We do not know that 130 Haitians were sent back. And so we are very concerned. We are very concerned. All right? And so you made that statement, I think, on Tuesday. There was some activity that happened on Wednesday. So at the time when you made that statement, apparently you were lying. We are fed up. We've had enough. And so call me, 803-5995, 803-5995. Call. Let me see if I can touch some of your comments. See what persons are saying on here. And then that will be it for today. But we are calling again. We're calling on Chester Cooper to end the corruption in Abaco unless you are a part of the corruption. If this woman somehow gets back up and running, you is the corrupt one. All right? You are the corrupt one. So we just want what is right to happen. We see if we can see some of your comments. We go down to the latest comments. Someone says if they ain't sending them back, where are they keeping them? Or are they released? Of course they're releasing them. I want you to look on the streets very carefully. Open your eyes. A lot of them are leaving and going to Andres, etc. Open your eyes. All right? Someone else says, question has been, why would other Bahamians deprive their fellow Bahamians of their birthright and are quick to deprive us of our rights? Who are the shadow powers behind the scenes? We are a country of people who, we are soft as a people. And that's what terrifies me the most. We are soft. And I'm afraid that somehow we can easily be overrun if we don't get serious in this country. That concerns me the most. Because there's some things, I lived in Haiti for 2 years, helping out, doing different stuff, even doing business down there. I know the culture that I saw down there. There's some things I saw down there that I don't want to see in this Bahamas. Ever. There's some things that I don't think our children could survive. There's some mentality of certain people that our children couldn't survive. I can't leave our children to have to deal with that. Because some politicians want to sell out. You see, we are so easily deceived as a people. Even the Haitian people are being deceived. Somehow some of them may think that we're against them. We're not against them. We're against illegal immigration. And we don't want the culture of Haiti to come here. It was Brave Davis and Fred Mitchell in 2014 who were attacking the Haitian people. It's how easy it is for them to forget. Brave Davis was in charge of the Ministry of Works. That's the one who's tearing down their buildings. Who was Brave? Tearing down their buildings. And it was Fred Mitchell who was in charge of immigration. It was him locking them up. It was him dragging their children from them. See how easy they are to forget? Or because some of their leaders, their Haitian leaders say, man, listen, I make a deal with Brave, you all come vote for Brave. Forget what did happen. As I said, I have a serious concern. I don't want what is there to come here. There's a culture. Watch this. That's in the streets of Haiti. Your children can't deal with that. That's not every Haitian. There are some good people in Haiti. I'm concerned with the bad ones coming here.
Jab, avancez. Gardez, gardez, gardez. Gardez, 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 gardez. Pour moun li rive qui. Pour moun li connaît qui côté nous. Wal wè sak di chye. Sak di chye tou wal vola ya. Sak di chye tou sak la yo. Sak jabwe wè kou bati la. Sak kou ka yi. Sak one imou.
It's filth all over the streets. We got a country to save. I'm not xenophobic and I'm not entertaining anyone who is xenophobic, but I am a patriot who believes in my nation. I must say this. Some people say, well, some of our original leaders were of foreign origin. They say Pinlin's father was Jamaican. His mother was Bahamian. His mother was, I'm told, a Bain from Auckland. It's my family. So Haitian was my, Pinlin was my cousin. His mother was Auckland's Bain, like me. So this generation got to finish what his generation didn't. So yeah, his father was a Jamaican. His Pinlin isn't a Bahamian name. The Maynards is not a Bahamian name. Bailey, Aaron Bailey, is not a Bahamian name. Many of them I could go on and on. Stephen Dillett was not a Bahamian name. Do you know why these foreigners had to come here and stand up? Because Bahamians were one, either cowards, too soft, or easy to sell out, or too slow to understand when they were being swindled by the UBP. They weren't the UBP yet. Bahamians were too soft. So persons from that Jamaican culture with that in their DNA had to come and fight for us. Yes. Because you're always too soft. Persons from another culture had to come, from Trinidad and from Barbados and from other places, had to come and do certain things because Bahamians just wouldn't stand up. And that's why we still in the situation we're in. We originally had to have foreign police officers and foreign this and foreign that. We don't need that anymore. We are looking for a new Bahamian. It's a new generation now. There's a new crew. It's in our children's DNA. You can see our children different now. They ain't soft no more. I'm from the generation where when you're beating us, we looking at you. And then if you say, oh, you think you is woman? You think you is man? Like a lick you tell you cry. So then you just put on a cry for them. We from that generation that was different. And then generation after us, you could beat them all you want. That don't move them. These children beating don't work on them. This is a new crew. This that crew was gonna stand up in your face and stand up to you. It's a new crew. We have to stand up, Bahamas. So yeah, we had some people who were foreigners who had to come, and that's because you're always too soft. And now you have some people, now you could hear the softness in them. Oh, the Haitians done take over. They done out number, so you can't do nothing, it's too late. What the hell do you mean it's too late? So what? Give them our country? Is that really an option? It's too late? I don't care if it's 150,000 foreigners in this country. If it's 150 foreigners in this country come to take us over and they got here corruptly or illegally through crime, then it's time to get militant and it's time to stand up. You have to defend this. In Haiti, there are some persons who don't want those unruly folks from wherever they're from, Sitsoule, Delmar, wherever they are from, to get up in the north where they are. They don't want them come there to mess their things up. So why should we stand down and just let persons take over our country? Because we have some corrupt, evil politicians. Not a day like it. If 150,000 persons came here illegally and they are taking over our country, it's time to take up arms and stand up and defend this country. Or they take it from us. There's no option. We have nowhere to go. We have to stand up for this country. The only persons experiencing xenophobia in this country is Bahamians. You can't sit down and let them take over Andres, take over Abaco, and everyone just holding them out and being quiet because you scared of voodoo. Man, listen, if they want to go play with little trinkets and toys and do their dumbness, let them go do that. Let's stand up and fight. I heard someone saying some nonsense, and I have to say this, and y'all can screenshot this and send this out because this is the facts. That, oh, we only free because Haiti fought for their independence. Haiti did not fight for their independence, my brothers and sisters. Everyone in Haiti know this. I don't know why y'all telling a different story. Haiti bought their independence. They're used to paying off for stuff. Like they're trying to buy out the Bahamas now. Haiti was an outpost. That was a satellite place. That was a colony. They had a few soldiers there. And as always, in every situation, the slaves, the oppressed, always outnumber the ones oppressing them. It's only their mentality that allows them to stay oppressed, to stay slaves. There was always more slaves on the plantation than there was, masters on the plantation. But in any event, the Haitians took over from the persons who were there, watching them, dealing with them, handling them. And then uh, France, Napoleon, made a call and said, hey, we are going to bring our army if y'all don't pay us. And they made them pay 30 times their GDP. Toussaint didn't want to go back to slavery because France said, we're going to come there and we're going to make everyone slaves again. And we can treat y'all worse than we treated y'all before. And they paid for their freedom. That is what happened. So yes, they fought, they defeated the persons who were there, and then they were warned. It wasn't literally a call, you know what I mean? They were warned. We are coming, and we're going to enslave everyone. We're going to take Haiti back over. We bring in the whole army. And they said, okay, we'll pay. And then a part of what caused the problem as to where Haiti is now is that they didn't have the money. How can you pay 30 times your GDP? They started borrowing from banks in France to pay France. And they got into serious debt. They just recently finished paying this. They got into serious debt in order to do this. But they were borrowing the money from France to pay France. Let me answer this call again. Good afternoon, you're live.
Mr. Ben, I have another question, please. I mean, in reference to citizenship, I'm noticing the amount of, like you said, Haitians getting citizenship, Jamaicans, Chinese. Let's say they go to the States, because that's what most of them want to get with Bahamian passport. If they commit a crime in the States and they have to be deported, being that they have gotten Bahamas citizenship, but maybe born in Haiti or China or Jamaica, where would the U.S. deport them to? What country would they be deported?
They will be deported to the Bahamas.
See, that's a problem.
That is a huge problem.
That's a real
What has
problem.
been happening
We've
was
got
that
to do
persons
something.
were simply telling the U.S. government that they're from the Bahamas, and our government was just accepting them back without proof. There are people who are here who are of Haitian descent and other countries, even Jamaican, that just said they're from the Bahamas and they were just allowed to come in. And this has been happening in this country.
We have a problem. And,
Yes.
and like you talk about Mr. Bell, who's in charge of immigration, the name Bell, where is he from? Why would he be? Why would I don't know, why would he have our interest? I mean, that's not a Bahamian name either. Who do we, I mean, I noticed a couple of months ago in reference to the immigration officers when they had the graduation, the names that they were calling off of persons who are now immigration officer, I'm thinking it was probably about 200 people graduated.
Yeah.
And there may have been 5 to 10 names that you know were Bahamian names who are now going to be immigration officers in that country.
And this is why Bahamians have to stand up, and this is why it is urgent. And this is why we have to go to the government when the House of Assembly opens, and we have to demand immigration reform. We have to get strict. Brave Davis and them went and shook hands and made agreements to relax the deportations and to relax arrests. You notice they have relaxed all of this stuff, and they're allowing these persons to stay here. They sent.
And Mr. Ben, one last
Go
thing
ahead.
before I go. I want to say about the Prime Minister. The UN has bought off Mr. Davis because here it is now. He is saying that the Bahamas have to find a solution to the Haitian problem. We don't need to find a solution to the Haitian problem. What Mr. Davis needs to do is to upgrade our Bahamian education system, our Bahamian to find. There's a lot of stuff that we need to be done in this country with our paying dollars. We don't have nothing to do with Haiti. All we need to do is to the poor who don't need to be there, back to their native countries.
Yeah, we have nothing to do with them, and I will make this clear for you. After the earthquake in 2010, Haiti was given $13.5 billion with a B. That couldn't help them. I played a video, an interview with Bill Clinton and George Bush was in it, how they tried to get this done, and it was like nothing you could do to help those people. It was too difficult. Their land laws were too strict. As foreigners, they couldn't come there and develop the houses first and then turn it over because it's difficult for a foreigner to own land. You can't own land as a foreigner there. So there was land issues there. I actually, while I was in the U.S. A couple of weeks ago, I actually met one of the contractors who were there, and this contractor said he had they were doing $1 billion in development in Haiti, and it was infrastructure stuff, communication stuff, and all that. And he said as they put infrastructure in place, the Haitians stole it. So they just came and just stole it. They will put together a whole system, and they will just come and take that. Next day, that gone. And it's $1 billion worth of stuff, and it just went crazy. And they were supposed to do another $3.5 billion worth of different transformers and all kind of different stuff, telecommunication stuff.
But Mr. Ben,
And the fella, let me just say this: the fella said,
most of them are lawless people, you know. Haitians are lawless people. Law don't mean nothing to them. They do whatever they want to do. They cut down all of their trees. They have all of this land. When they have rain and everything, now there's nothing to stop all of the mudslides from coming down their mountains. And here they are coming in our country and cutting down all of our trees, which is our protection.
yeah.
And we have got to do something. Bahamians, we have got to stand up and start doing things. I mean, we need to stop talking. Let's get moving.
Yes.
When are we going to call for this rally now? What are we going to do and when?
Yes, as soon as House of Assembly opened, we are going to take it to the House of Assembly. And we're going to give the Bahamian people a chance to stand up.
We got to do something. Thank you.
Thank you. And so the gentleman that I met, he literally said, He said nothing you can do for it. He was a white gentleman. He was a big contractor in Iraq. And when the earthquake happened, he was in Iraq, and he went, and he got to do some stuff in Haiti. And he said after $1 billion worth of stuff was stolen, he said they were supposed to do another 3.5 billion worth of stuff that was lined up for them to help them, and this is separate from the 13.5 billion. He said he recommended that they not go forward, and they cut, because if you put down a telecommunication system and the next day the people come and steal it, just take it. You got to be a fool to go from 1 billion to 3.5 billion, and that is what he said. And these are the kinds of things that are going on, and that's headed to your door. And Brave Davis, etc., is allowing it, and people are trying to tell us that we are xenophobic because we want to protect our nation. Come on, man. Come on, let's be reasonable with this, man. We're protecting the little that we have. That's all we're doing. But we got to stand up and fight. Someone says, hey, there's so much of them, they're not going to vote for you. Listen, there won't be a country if we don't stand up. I'm not worried about a vote. I didn't come in this to be a politician. I'm worried about our little Bahamas. That's what I'm worried about. So if you got to choose between a vote and a country, buddy, let's save this country. We got to save this country. The only people experiencing xenophobia in this country is Bahamians. Even the white Bahamians are now experiencing it. All of us are one. And this thing isn't new that we're experiencing. This isn't a new phenomenon. We've been experiencing this, and others have been experiencing this, and the suffering has continued over and over. And I want to end this day by introducing you to a man that you know well and you think you know well. His name is Dr. Martin Luther King. He was the most militant activist in history. Successful activist. Because a lot of people talked, but he didn't just talk. He said, oh, we can't eat in this restaurant. We can eat in this and you will lock us up. And when we get bail, we coming back again, you have to lock us up again. I was a militant man. He spoke eloquently and he spoke softly, but he did what he had to do. He didn't just talk the talk. He blocked the bridge. He made you come and bring your dogs to bite him. A lot of people think that Martin Luther King only stood for civil rights so that we could use the same bathrooms. But Martin Luther King spoke up against a lot of other things, and this included standing up for labor movement, saying that people shouldn't be working for minimum wage, for slave starvation wages, he called it. He stood up for a lot of different things. I want you to hear some speeches of Dr. Martin Luther King, the Dr. Martin Luther King that you don't see on TV. I'm going to show you something. And you're going to see that the same things they were going through, we are going through as Bahamians. They were separated by race, but black and white Bahamians are going through the same thing. We are being pushed on the side. We are being cut out in our own country. So everywhere you hear him say black people or black Americans, turn it into the Bahamian and then get the understanding. Let's listen to Martin Luther King.
We must also realize that the problems of racial injustice and economic injustice cannot be solved without a radical redistribution of political and economic power.
Dr. Martin Luther King realized that we get swing. We was fighting to go in the same restaurants, in the same bathrooms, etc. And he realized that it was economic apartheid that was the problem. And that's what we're experiencing in the Bahamas, economic apartheid, where we are being held back as Bahamians. Black and white Bahamians are being held back. You see what's going on with Toby on Paradise Island. They gave him the he had the crown land, and the foreigner came and said, I want it, and they just kicked him on the side and said, listen, yeah. You think you're a white Bahamian? Come, you're a Bahamian, that's your problem. Get lost. We're giving this to Royal Caribbean. You saw the same thing happen with persons in Eleuthera who were trying to bid for the land over Disney, and Disney got it. Why? Because those persons from Eleuthera were Bahamians. It's economic empowerment that we should fight for, not crumbs that the PLP wants to give you. There's more, listen.
I want you to understand is this, that it didn't cost the nation one penny to integrate lunch counts. It didn't cost the nation one penny to guarantee the right to vote. But now we are dealing with issues that cannot be solved without the nation spending billions of dollars under the right redistribution of economic power. Yes. We read one day, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But if a man doesn't have a job or an income, he has neither life nor liberty and the possibility for the pursuit of happiness. He merely exists. All labor has dignity. But you are doing another thing. You are reminded.
Let me just pause right there and I'll take this call. I am so sorry. Many of you have been calling on the regular line, but we had the phone on Do Not Disturb. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome. You're live.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bain. How are you?
I am awesome.
Awesome. I'm calling from Grand Bahama.
Yes. Welcome.
Just want to let you know what an awesome show. I tend not to listen to too much of this nowadays, but the spirit hit me just to listen to this today, and I'm glad that I did. Quite interesting, all the stuff that you are noting that's going on in our country that a lot of us, I'm sure, are not privy to.
Mm-hmm.
Just a matter of concern. The other day, I think I saw a newspaper headline. I won't quote it verbatim, but I understand it to mean that the Prime Minister of the country was saying that we need to render some assistance to Haiti. And I took aback to that in the fact that I always was told with my grandmother, you got to clean your own house before you could go help someone else clean their own. We are sitting in a nation right now where people are suffering. I mean, in the highest degree, some people don't know where to turn. There's a degree of hopelessness, of violence, of everything. And it is a grave concern. You know, as we as Bahamians, what do we do? And where do we turn? And I just want to commend you today to bring in all of this to the forefront, if only to bring awareness to everyone. And I must commend you for that. And I just wanted to call in and say so.
Thank you so much. Thank you. God bless you. I see about 21 missed calls. You were calling on the regular line and you were not getting through. I'm so sorry. We had it on Do Not Disturb. I humbly apologize for that. I'm going to touch on Martin Luther King and then we'll take your calls again. I just want you to hear this. He was fighting for economic empowerment because he realized that we got swing. Because now, you know, they could just price you out of the restaurant. You can't afford to go in that restaurant. They don't have to tell you don't come to Grey Cliff. They could price you out of Grey Cliff. They don't have to put you in the back of the plane. They could price you out of the front of the plane. They don't have to tell you that you can't come to this school. They could put the good schools in the suburbs and you can't afford to be in the neighborhood, and they make a rule that you have to go to the school in your neighborhood. So he realized his economic empowerment that was missing. Let's finish listening, because this thing is still going on and we're experiencing this. And we have to understand the fight.
Liberty and the pursuit of happiness. But if a man doesn't have a job or an income, he has neither life nor liberty and the possibility for the pursuit of happiness. He merely exists. All labor has dignity. But you are doing another thing. you are reminding not only Memphis, but you are reminding the nation that it is a crime for people to live in this rich nation and receive starvation wages.
Isn't that the promise?
Estimated that we spend $322,000.
We got unions selling for scraps from the Davis administration, settling so they can feel that they accomplished something while we live in this rich nation with so much natural resources. And they're proud to sit around the table trying to get scraps. I see you guys calling. Let me take your calls. It's important I've been talking about. Let me take your calls. Good afternoon and welcome. Go ahead, you're live. You're live, go ahead. Yes, go ahead. Turn your, whatever you're listening to, turn it down.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. B. How you doing?
I'm good.
Man, listen to me, man. When we go down the Bay Street, God spares life.
Yes.
Man, we need to get these fellas out of Parliament one
We
time.
need to.
Man. How can we do that?
If enough Bahamians show up, we are going to remove them from the House of Assembly.
Man, because, I mean, the people who are watching every Sunday and Tuesday, they need to just get up, man. Because I am 57, man. I don't work PLP and SNM, so that I just sick and tired.
Wow.
The last election, I went COI all the way, man. Because
Thank you, man.
I just get tired because every time you talk, it seems like you think you're getting something when you look, there's nothing given out.
Thank you.
It wasn't about you,
Yes.
I said, man, hold on. And then I realized, I told my wife, I say, something is going on. Everybody leaving their profession and going to Parliament. I see something is going on. Until you all get in, start exposing things. And I say, oh, I see what is going on. Everybody is just getting in there to get for themselves.
Yes. Yes.
Second for us, man, what kind of, I can use some of Minister's words, what he said. Where's your heart? Where's your compassion?
Yeah.
Former Prime Minister Hubert Ingram, Perry Christie, Brave Davis, and Hubert Minister, where are you all heart, man?
Wow.
What kind of human beings you all are, man? Come on. Come on.
Wow.
Listen to me. I live in the bottom of the pond all of my life. You understand? Things ain't that bad with me. I can make it, but to see people around suffering. My heart, it gets so heavy, man. Sometimes you want to, I said, man, come on.
Wow.
So I just want to say, because it seems like this is the only way they can hear, because I heard you said that they are listening.
Yes.
Leaders of the Bahamas Fund, where are you all heart, man? Where are you all compassion? What more? How much more you all want? All you all have to do, listen to me. If you all would give people just a little taste, like Mr. Bean stated sometime back, man, we wouldn't even know what was going on because we wasn't going to be interested in digging into all of this foolishness. But since Mr. Bean dig into it, oh, thank God, friend. And Mr. Bean, you and your team, listen to me, every night, every day I pray for you all, that God will cover you all with his blood. But man, I say somebody has to rise up, man. Nothing for nothing, leave nothing. You say, come on, man, everything for them.
Yeah.
Come on, man, Mr. Miller, all of you and Glennis, Hannah Martin. I say, where are the Bahamians? We're in Parliament. He's sitting down. What disgrace.
Disgraceful.
If 80 of them, this is what they fight for. Glennis, Hannah Martin, and all of you Bahamians who are in there, this is what Pinland and some minor bottle them fight for.
What a disgrace. I cry shame on you all. Mr. Bain, I pray that the Lord will bless you all, you and your team, and may his face shine upon you all, and that he will keep you all. Trust me, you all will overcome. We shall overcome, brother.
We will.
And brother, when you make the call, by the grace of God, me and my family shall be there. And I told my children, I said, I don't care what you all doing. Now, one wake on the island for the government, and I ain't saying, well, now he could be the only one probably. Listen, I told my daughters, I said, listen to me, you all, I don't care what you all are doing. Come on. Last week I had my grandson there. I just want to say, and my grandson was saying, well, Papa, what about this Mr. Bean? I said, Mr. Bean, I said, child, listen to me. He said, why you have to go down there? Because, we want to stay and play this game. I said, son, this is for your future. And then he said, well, let me tell you my plans if I become the prime minister. He said, first I'm going to break down all the old buildings on Bay Streets and all those cars on the side of the road. I'm going to pass a law that none of them be able to be parked to the side of the road no more. So, Mr. Billy, I'm praying for you all, and I sure that, man, listen, the Bahamians, you all who are listening, man, come out. Rise up every morning. I pray, I say, God, breathe upon the Bahamians the spirit of one, and let us rise up. Mr. Dean, thank you all, your team. You all are doing a good job.
Thank you, man.
And me and my family, we're going to support you all the way. And I just keep praying for the Bahamians that their mindset change. And just don't stay home. Come out and support. Because he used to be saying, when I all come, because if there's not enough people, we can't do what we want to do. So Bahamian people, you all here, Mr. Bain, come out and stop playing.
And welcome back.
And welcome back, Mr. Bain. And
thank you, man.
You have a good day.
You too.
Yes,
thank you. God bless you. Thanks for the call. We see a lot of people was calling. Like I said, I'm sorry. Let me just get to this Martin Luther King thing. I know we spent a long time today, but this is important, man. This is for our country. Let's just get through this. I want you all to hear these words to see how things have not changed.
For each enemy we kill in Vietnam, while we spend in the so-called war on poverty in America only about $53 for each person classified as poor. The promises of the Great Society have been shot down on the battlefield of Vietnam, making the poor, white and Negro, bear the heaviest burdens both at the front and at home. America's opportunity.
As you can see there, he spoke out against Vietnam, where he was saying it's the poor people, white and black, who are being sent there to die. So he was not just fighting for civil rights so that we could use the same bathrooms, etc. He was fighting for a lot of stuff, but they don't normally let you hear these stuff. You don't see these on TV when they talk about Martin Luther King Day. These are the clips that you need to see.
To help bridge the gulf between the haves and the have-nots. And the question is whether America will do it. There's nothing new about poverty. What is new is that we now have the techniques and the resources to get rid of poverty. And the real question is whether we have the will.
We now have the techniques, the technology, and the natural resources to get rid of poverty in the Bahamas. The question is whether we will. And why should they empower you if you're not willing to empower yourself? If you're willing to take some crumbs, why should they give you the meal? Think about it, Bahamas.
At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms. Not only that, Today, many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And this is what we are faced with. And this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington, in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
The exact same things that we are fighting for, that I am fighting for, that all Bahamians are fighting for, Dr. Martin Luther King was fighting for. America was giving away land. We could call it crown land. They don't have crown land, the government land. They were giving away to the foreigners, to the white peasants, because they wanted to increase the population of the white people. They were giving it away to the foreigners, while the black people were like, "Hey, when we build this nation, why can't we get our land?" They were giving millions of acres away. You see the same way us organic Bahamians, they are fighting us. They're bringing in the military. They're standing up against us, calling us criminals and everything in the world because we want our land. And we get nothing. They're empowering. They were empowering the foreigners while the blacks were getting nothing. And then they would have the nerve to tell the blacks, you need to stand up by your own bootstrap. In other words, they were saying, you're too lazy, that's why you can't get nowhere. But they were helping the foreigners. They say we lazy. They say we beg too much. We want too much. But the foreigner can come here and get our land, get our money out of our banks to get a loan, and get our opportunities to build their dream. But they saying we want too much, that we want free things. Only the foreigners getting something free. The Haitians, they getting something free. They come here, they can take our land. We are giving them free hospital, free education, free everything free. They are benefiting from us. But we don't deserve to have nothing. Martin Luther King was fighting for the same things that I'm fighting for today, Bahamas. The same things that you and we are fighting for. It hasn't changed. But it's all Bahamians are going through this. I am standing up for the organic Bahamian.
I come here tonight and plead with you. Believe in yourself and believe that you're somebody. As I said to the group last night, nobody else can do this for us. No document can do this for us. No Lincolnian Emancipation Proclamation can do this for us. No Kennethonian or Johnsonian Civil Rights Bill can do this for us. If the Negro is to be free, he must move down into the inner resources of his own soul and sign with a pen and ink of self-assertive manhood his own Emancipation Proclamation. Don't let anybody take your manhood. Be proud of our heritage. As somebody said earlier tonight, we don't have anything to be ashamed of. Somebody told a lie one day. They couched it in language. They made everything black, ugly, and evil. Look in your dictionary and see the synonyms of the word black. There's always something degrading and low and sinister. Look at the word white. It's always something pure, high, and clean. But I want to get the language right tonight. I want to get the language so right that everybody here will cry out, yes, I'm black, I'm proud of it, I'm black and beautiful.
Well, and I will say to all of you, exactly what he was saying, but talking about black, that's how they treat us Bahamians. Like the word Bahamian is a bad word. Oh, Bahamians are lazy. Everything bad is Bahamians. Oh, the Haitians are hardworking. The Bahamians are lazy. They're nothing. They treat it like it's bad to be a Bahamian. Oh, Bahamians can't go in the casino. They don't know how to behave. Everything is bad about Bahamians, but they are wrong. Bahamians are decent, civil people. We are lovers of God and people. We are the friendliest nation in the world, and that is why we get treated the way we get treated. Bahamians are excelling all over this world. Bahamians helped change the consciousness of America. Bahamian, Sidney Poitier, my grandfather's first cousin. Sidney Poitier is how they pronounce it. He's Poitier in Bahamian. It's not a Haitian name, it's a French name. Bahamians all over this world are excelling. The only place we get held back is here. I saw a picture recently of Brave Davis shaking hands with a Bahamian who was dealing with some sea moss, and he was on Shark Tank. Isn't it disgraceful that Bahamian would have to go away to another country to get recognized and to get funding and get money? And then they want to recognize him because now him and Kevin Hart is business partners. We have to change our mentality, and we have to do that for our Bahamians. We need a real change in this country. We need real change. We have to change our mindset. The same things Dr. Martin Luther King was fighting, we are fighting. We are fighting for the civil rights of Bahamians. We are the only country in the world where a foreigner can do something that a local can't. The foreigner can go in a hotel and gamble and a local can't. I just went in a casino, I think it was last night, in Bahama. And I watched how the foreigner can pull that lever. But the only reason we can't pull that lever is because we're Bahamian. They criminalized being a Bahamian. They can sit down and play some cards. The only reason we can't play it is why? Because you're a Bahamian. Not that playing cards is wrong, because if it was wrong, it would be illegal for anyone. No, it's because you're a Bahamian. That is why. And that is something that we're going to change. That is symbolism, is symbolic. On the day that we win that election, I'm putting every casino on notice. Let Bahamians in. On the day. It is symbolic. A Bahamian cannot own a casino, which is the number one industry. The nexus of our economy is the casino hotel, and a Bahamian cannot own it. You cannot own it. Only in the Bahamas. We need change. I saw some idiot on here. And I don't normally block people, but I have to block that person. I haven't blocked him yet. Ask the question, is Mr. Bain and Charlotte juicing? Let me tell you something, whoever you are. You troll. The Bahamian people are getting juice every day, and you're worrying about who juicing who. You need to worry about the fact that the politician is juicing you. That's why those stupid things are coming out of your mouth. That's why you're busy fighting for them while they're eating caviar and you can't pay your rent. While they're eating steak with mushrooms and sauteed onions, while your light bill is off. They have been juicing us for the last 50 years in this nation. And I'm tired of it. I don't have time for small talks. This is a serious matter. That we are about to lose our entire nation while people are asleep and while prostitutes, political prostitutes, for contracts would fight for these politicians. And then in a few years, they broke again. I'm tired of seeing Bahamians getting juice. That is what I am tired of. Every single election, we getting rape and rob. And it ain't always rape because some of y'all is lay down for them like you. you political prostitute. While they eating caviar, and we spending 5 hours on the line waiting for a $20 food stamp. Those days are numbered. Change is coming. Open up this House of Assembly so we can close it down. Enough is enough. Bahamians, stand with me. Do not be distracted by these political prostitutes who are selling their country out. Ain't gonna be nothing left. Some of y'all might think you could leave and go Canada or leave and go America, then something happened there, they send you right back here. They can send you right back here. You get in a little trouble, they send you right back here. We have nowhere else to go. We have to fix this. If you can't see that the PLP and FNM are one and they've sold us out, then that's on you. But we have to fight. And for those who are willing and ready to fight, let's fight. Because I believe in the Bahamas that is for Bahamians. I believe in this. Freeport, we are coming. We will be there in the middle of September. On September 18th, we will be there at the BUT Hall. Stand with us. Be there with us. Come shake my hand. Come touch me. Come let me know that you support. Stand with us. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, we need your assistance as always. This movement has a cost. And just like those political parties have to raise money, as long as they've been thieving and raping and robbing from this country, they still got to raise money. We need to raise money. And so support us. Go to our website or come to our headquarters during the day in Pinewood, or you can go to our website and you can go right there and click on the donate button. Thank you so much for everything that you have been doing. I am sorry I missed all of those calls today. I can't take any more. We've done 3 hours today. But next time I'll make sure. I'm sorry, I had the phone on Do Not Disturb, so I was only seeing when WhatsApp was ringing on the computer. I humbly apologize for all of you that didn't get to have your say today. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you. Women, it's time to stand up. Change never happens until the women stand up. Change never happens until the women stand up. And so I need you women to stand with us. We are forming our women's association. It is very important. It is very important. So it is very important. So we want you to stand with us. Come out. You see the date. Let me put that. Let me have them put that up there for you again, so you know when to come out. It's on September 11th. You can't forget that date. That's the day that changed the world. September 11th at 6:30 at Anatole Rogers High School, Fayette Avenue. If you're a woman and you want to join our women's movement, please do. Please be there. Please join us. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for everything you're doing. Let's stay focused. We will not compromise. We will not sell out. We will not let them have our country. We are being raped and robbed every single day while these fellas are having caviar dreams, champagne dreams on you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. All I want to say is make sure, Bahamas, that when we call, you come. Do you hear me, Bahamas? The government will be watching to see if you are serious. They will be watching to see if they can sell us out and make money. They can go and live in any country they want. What are you going to do? Ladies and gentlemen, there's only one thing that you can do that save our country before it's too late. Like Pinlin said, if you're not willing to stand up and fight, then you don't deserve to have it. Ladies and gentlemen, change ain't coming, change is here.
and the Bahamians aren't prepared to stand up and fight and defend their own Bahamas, then you don't deserve to have it.
Now let that sink in. Come on. Change ain't coming, change is here. You can hear it, you can feel it in the air. All politicians, put your hands in the air. Just a stick up, let me make myself clear. I'm a grown man talking, so you know what to do. No one's leaving till we figure out the truth. Why you laughing? This ain't nothing funny. So no one gets to go home till we figure out this money. Change ain't coming. Change is here. They say change ain't coming, but change is here. They say change ain't coming, but change is here. They say change ain't coming, nigga, change is here. Now if you ain't standing with us, then I know you against us. Bahamas, this ain't no time for us to be lukewarm. This is war, and we riding through the storm. Come on. Let's go. Shalom to all my Hebrew brothers, to all my Muslim and Rastas, we need you, brother. Selassie, I know I can't forget the Christians. Let's put our differences aside, cause this a bigger mission. See, they've been doing this for years, trying to separate us, kinda trying to keep us down and never elevate us. Now it's time to praise the Lord, cause he's about to take us over to the promised land where we can celebrate us. I got to do it for my kids that ain't even born yet, so the minute that they born, they already gotta check that check. Gotta have that time to collect, so they won't know how it feels to have that yoke around their neck. Yeah. See, y'all been robbing my grandmother, my great-great-grandmother and grandfather. It's like y'all can't get enough. Y'all just keep eating and giving us nothing but taxes. Y'all went even as far as to say that this country's in debt and we ain't got no money. But 9 times out of 10, everybody in this country's possibly a millionaire. It's time to wake up. Let's talk about natural resources, cause every time we bring it up, they say hold your horses. They say it ain't worth a thing, but it's worth a fortune. Meanwhile, they open up their businesses across the borders. Oh yes, we track their bank accounts across the waters. They say this country in debt, but they making millions. If we don't stop this now, they be up to billions. It's about to go down and I get the feeling we gotta cut a movie on these dirty villains. On this Lincoln Bain and his team came with information. It's like everything changed, everything went quiet. It's like so much facts and they can't deny it. They'd rather keep their mouths shut before they start a riot. Now look how they tryna just steal the oil. They don't wanna share with none of y'all. They been robbing us while we were sleeping. Send them to jail cause they failed, they committed treason. Change ain't coming. They say change ain't coming, but change is here. They say change ain't coming, but change is here. They say change ain't coming, nigga, change is here. Listen, from Freeport to Nassau all the way to Nagua, there's no more time for us to sit back and be quiet. You understand? This is war. If they only knew who we were, if they only know who we are, they would know we are warriors. No retreat, no surrender. Just give us what you owe us. Bless the Lord, oh my soul. I feel this all the way to my ancestors. We are warriors. We only really want what's owed to us. You get it? Now free up.
See you next Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Women, see you on September 11th. Grandmama, see you on September 18th. Change ain't coming.